What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. Yet another edition of Throwback Thursday. Jeff, I know you've been enjoying the content as much as I've been enjoying digging through and putting it all up and together.
I'm not gonna lie. I was trepidatious watching this, especially my stuff. I hate watching my stuff, you know that. But it's been interesting to go back and watch it because, as I said, I become less of a dick as the shows go on Talk Wrestling, which is thank God I did because the first show was so bad. But man, you have been like reaching into the vault, man. I almost feel like I want to grab Mickey Mouse on SNL. I'm like, no, protect the content. They didn't sell. So man, such good stuff to watch, and today is no exception, sir.
Yes, thank you once again to Aaron Rift of the NoDQ YouTube channel, James Hebert of the JH95 slash FTW Productions, Noel Foster from the Simple Man brand, and of course, you, good sir, for the
Yes,
Jeff Meacham Network, for allowing me access to all the content that was previously discussed in private
yes,
amongst all of you guys, because there are limitations about what can and can't be posted, but
yeah. Unfortunately,
especially a big thank you once again to Aaron Rift for allowing me access to the no DQ stuff. That stuff has really helped make the process and the Throwback Thursdays succeed and thrive, I think.
absolutely.
Sit back, relax, everybody, enjoy as we bring to you yet another week of Throwback Thursday content.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
blah, 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 blah. Well, here we are once again, my family and friends, to engage on the forum we created through AEW in the better part of 2020 as we once again discuss all things wrestling with primary focus on AEW. I say this because you think about freaking Kazuhiro Nakajima going back to AJPW and winning the Triple Crown title. I think about the fact that Kairi Sane has joined Damage Control, and now Damage Control 2.0 is stronger than ever. Might be the strongest women's foundation in Joshi Pro that WWE has ever seen. We also think about the injury bug happening in Stardom, but we wish the likes of Utami, Mayu, Waka, Tam, just to name a few, get well soon.
There's been also big 2 updates, Noah, as you were talking.
What?
The LA Globe Theater is closing, so Pro Wrestling Guerrilla is going to have to find a new place to live.
But another thing came out that says they're now staying open. So whatever was going on, it seems to have been resolved, even if we don't know it.
Oh, also, okay, you're going to love what I'm about to tell Noah.
What?
Oh, boy. What you about to tell him?
The bunny is on OnlyFans.
I already know
now.
that. I already know that, but
Darn, I thought for sure we could have fun with that. Oh, well.
Look, for once, you guys cannot get to me with that. But first off, I wish the bunny, whatever she chooses to do, because yes, the bunny now is no longer part of AEW. But again, why do I discuss all these various things as we're on the verge of the end of the year with 2 AEW pay-per-views, 1 WWE special, 1 NXT special, and of course, Wrestle Kingdom continuing being built? Because they concern all things wrestling. So here we go once again, crew, for we are ATW. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to when you watch this. I'll upload at some point during, by the way, shout out to my mother. She will be 60 when you all see this, and I will be celebrating her 60th birthday. Praise the Lord. Welcome once again to the ATW Impromptu. I am the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of the jam man, and a proud member, we are all equals here, of the ATW fam, and I'm forever grateful for professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. And my name is Noah Foster. With me tonight, as always, is the Inquirer, the bearer of all things news, the chaos provider that I try to control, and somehow he unleashes beyond my control, Eric Brown, and of course, the KING king of ATW, in whose house? His house, of course. Anthony, gentlemen, here we are once again. It's Full Gear Week, and we just got through a very fun Dynamite, and we have a very stacked card to discuss, along with some other things that I'm sure we'll talk about too, because as always, there's no script here. It's unfiltered. We discuss whatever floats around our mind, and I'm sure we'll have a few laughs and a few moments where we also lose our damn mind too. Before we get into everything, King, as always, man, good to see you. We just got done with our weekly virtual AEW watch party. How you doing? How are you? How you feel about this year's Full Gear pay-per-view?
This year's Full Gear pay-per-view has potentially to be one of the hottest AEW pay-per-view runs added to that list since All In. Like, the card is looking great. It's looking fantastic. And of course, like you said, we just got through watching, Dynamite, and it was a fun 2-hour Dynamite as it was. And if this momentum keeps up to Saturday, buckle up. We in for Full Gear. Literally.
I thought you were going to say full throttle, trying to be a little bit different. But yeah, we're definitely kicking it in the Full Gear, but I digress. And that being said, Eric, good to see you. Hope you've been taking care of your family and your mentality as always. I know you tried to get the bear of me earlier. Not able to, but I'm sure you'll find some way to piss me off.
AEW probably has something better over WWE now.
What's that?
Okay, so remember the whole Retribution angle that WWE mutilated to death?
Yeah.
And how they had a whole bunch of people just corralling around, beating people up, vandalizing, screaming at the top of their lungs because that's
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Sonora Sad broke the case on the Devil's storyline. He didn't reveal who, though. He doesn't know who yet. But guess what he did confirm?
What?
That the people you've been seeing serving the devil, beating up all these people, are in fact the actual people who will be revealed. It's not just props people.
Oh, it's an actual group.
Yeah, as in the people who will be revealed are the ones doing the attacks. As in, it's not like hired independent wrestlers to act like goons. It's the actual group that will be revealed.
Well, considering the laundry list that MJF has against him, why don't we just go ahead and get right into that first fight? It's not really about Full Gear, but it does play possibly in the Full Gear and maybe in MJF's world ending, if not this Saturday at World's End. Because first off, guys,
Full Gear.
Yeah, but full gear. I'm tired. You know what? You freaking work. You don't freaking have a good amount of sleep. You're stressed all your whole life. So you know what? Botch on my part. But that's why I made this for a reason.
You need a botch counter.
Don't. You know what? Fuck it. You want to go there, bro? All right, fine.
No, I mean like an actual botch counter graphic on the side.
You know what?
Like the
I don't
super
know if I can...
counter, like in Ring of Honor they used to do.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Well, I'll just start with this for now, and I'm sure that won't be the only one. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about stuff. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Don't laugh, damn it. So, again, we haven't reconvened since Wrestle Dream when the Rated R superstar arrived on the AEW scene, and we've seen kind of the potential fallout there too, but we also know the end game. We know Nick Wade favors a new dad, traitor, and Darby Allin has been absolutely up in the air. But the biggest thing that's happened before we talk about AEW Full Gear, thanks, Eric, it is going to be showtime for the last time come AEW Revolution 2024. Let's just go ahead and take a moment to talk about the man, the icon known as Sting. Think about the moments. Think about, are we kind of a little bit caught off guard by this? And what do we truly think should be the final show for his time? Everyone is all about, it should be him versus Darby Allin. Should be passing up the torch. It should be Darby Allin. That should be the one that ushers a new icon of this generation. I am not Danhausen, but I'm just saying. That being said,
Sting revealed he originally was planning to retire this year, but was convinced to go a few more months.
Well, I just wonder, was the first time after he already slammed his shin into a table after jumping off a ladder, or was it after Sammy Guevara botched the 450 at freaking Forbidden Door and nearly screwed both of them up?
Honestly, at least it ended better than what happened with Seth Rollins.
Well, yeah, let's not talk about that.
We don't talk about things that happened before ATW existed. By the way, shout out, of course, to the ATW family. Wow, I am all off track tonight. You see how tired I am, folks? Sorry. Shout out, of course, to our queen, Megan Chiba. Get well soon. I know she's going to be going into surgery. I say Preacher Man Casey Flynn, who's got to be very happy for Dakota Kai, who's been deceived to be the mastermind with the damage control setup. But we'll see if that comes to light. But I digress. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to our rising journalist, ring announcer, backstage correspondent, Shiana Chanel, Cindy. Hope that she's doing well. Our enforcer, Lex, and of course, we'll be back with him on Sunday as he made it official. He wants to do one December 4th. I figured, why the hell not? Because who knows? It might be one, if not the next one, last one we do before we talk about what we ATW approve for professional wrestling through 2023. And we'll talk more about that in the private chat too. Because, again, that's what we do. And again, JD, James, Casey, again, the family goes on, Kat, Mike, again, we have really expanded since the original 6, but we are defined by professional wrestling for life. But yeah, that being said, Sting, it's crazy to think about this guy who's been doing New Jack Dimes at 63 years old, better than some men less his age, and I can't believe I just said that, is finally retiring. Come 2024. The only thing I'm sure about Sting, it's showtime for the last time come AEW Revolution 2024.
I remember at the first Forbidden Door, we all thought Sting was going to actually jump off the stage, off the arena roof.
Yeah, I'm so damn glad he didn't. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if that was a suggestion by him. And Tony Khan was like, no, can't do that. We can't risk our
Well, to be fair, in WWE, Charlotte was like, okay, here's my idea. For our match with Sasha Banks, the first ever Hell in a Cell match, I do a moonsault off the top cell. No! Oh.
Does she realize how close sometimes she misses the moonsault and nearly breaks her leg?
Oh, jeez.
Because of her height. But I digress. Anyway. But yeah, Sting for the last time. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. And whoever wants to talk first, go ahead. How should the lights go out on the icon?
Well, in my humble opinion, while we can all obviously say, oh, we should just do the Darby Allin thing and get it over with, and I totally get the case. I totally get that case.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Who like, in terms of if Sting wanted to subvert people's expectations, how would you write this ending? Does he fight Darby Allin or does he, like, fight someone else? So long as it's not Ric Flair, I'm pretty sure I'm good.
We'll talk more about that here, I'm sure, in a moment. Great segue, by the way, because I almost wondered, did he figure about one icon retiring to bring in another? But we'll talk more about that later.
And in a perfect world, we would have gotten Mark Calloway and Sting going at it, but certain people didn't want that. So, and to be quite honest, as much as I would have loved that match, I was like, if you told me this was 2014, I'd probably be all for 2011. I'd be for it, but now it'd be too impossible to make reality to make happen. And the fact Vince didn't want it because he just like, I'm not interested. Why?
Here's why. Because actually, I don't know.
It was reportedly said that Vince never saw the appeal of Sting versus Undertaker, which is the equivalent of saying, I don't get Captain America, even though everyone loves him.
Stay tuned, folks, for the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League coming out next year on consoles in February. That might be later the ATW game party. We'll see soon enough. Anyway. I call it Deadshot. Anyway. Okay, but yeah.
But if you were to think who could be the one to take Sting down, okay, obviously we might just go with MJF because heel-based dynamic and whatnot, and we could just do that. That would be so easy to do.
But does AEW make things easy for us fans to predict? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I like when they do predictable stuff, they don't do it to insult our intelligence. They're just like, this is the natural, obvious conclusion.
Right, at the end of the narrative. And right now, we're going into full gear where a bunch of narratives aren't reaching an end. They're reaching probably a new beginning.
Yeah, and I have actually been struggling. Like, okay, not Darby Allin. We know that might be the case, but let's fantasize. Who would you want to see defeat Sting in the final match, the end to a legacy? And I have come to the most powerful conclusion yet.
As you do. Go for it.
Boy, here we
I
go.
have no effing idea.
Oh, wow!
So you? Out of all people?
Yeah, surprisingly, there's a laundry list of wrestlers, and I'm like, oh, damn, who's the perfect guy besides Darby? Like, I could theoretically go with Christian Cage if for no other reason than for Christian Cage to go and say Father's Dead thing.
I mean, he is America's Father of the Year. I mean, let's not get that twisted, folks.
He is not the Father of the Year. That's an insult to dads. My dad's been gone for the better part of over a decade.
Don't take it with me. Take it with Nigel.
You have no father, right?
What?
Christian now knows you have no father once this is uploaded.
That's if Christian Cage gives a damn what I say.
You do realize Tony Khan has watched us clearly?
Yep, he has. He's watched us clearly.
You're still not getting those royalties.
I know. I'm still demanding nonetheless.
He's never going to stop demanding this shit. He's never gonna stop demanding it.
Hey, this dominated last year, and it was supposed to be a major storyline ending. Though sadly, they stopped it for no reason.
Well, again, not everything has to have a definitive reason, because if everything had a reason, then why would people try guessing?
Because at least we would get a conclusion instead of just being like, we just moved on, move on. ... Allow me, Exhibit A, Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go. Thank you, good night. Anyway. Never watched it.
Yeah, you poor unfortunate soul. Anyway, King, your thoughts. Your thoughts on Sting. Do you have any idea maybe who you would put in that spot? And here's another thing to think about. Jushin Thunder Liger, one of the best puzzle fights he could get back at Wrestle Kingdom 14. Both nights he did lose. But at the end of the day, does it hurt somebody if they are in the ring with Sting and Sting wins? Goes out a blaze of glory. I mean, does Sting have to lose in his very last match when it showed them for the last time? What's your thoughts on that, King?
If you really want to send Sting off in a blaze of glory, I still keep with the same undefeated streak, even though it has been in tag team action in some sort of way. He has been undefeated with Darby. So there's two ways you can go with a tag, or you can go with, the obvious Darby versus Sting. Now, if you was to do a tag, who would you put in that spot to face Darby and Sting?
Jericho and Omega? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're trying to be a little unpredictable with this but if we go with Jericho, Sting, and Kenny Omega and all that, you realize Kenny can't really do his usual thing because Sting's neck's still on the doctor's note.
That is,
Ooh,
especially with the Kataro Crusher and then the you can't
So he'd be
escape.
like basically having to wrestle the same way he wrestled Jericho, where he was told, "Okay, I don't want to take the One Wing Angel. I couldn't feel my body for the whole week." So
he put on a damn chair too. The crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Okay, I finally got the perfect guy.
Oh,
here we go. Here it is.
Because if we want to put this guy as the next big heel and evil force of nature, we get Swerve.
Well, I mean, All In, tag team coffin match. Yep, I do see where you're going with that.
I mean, he was buried by Joker Sting, to be fair. I mean, if the dreads were out for a moment, they went in, folks, so the match decision made sense. Sting and Darby won.
No, here's the thing. If you want to have a more brutal ending to Sting's career, and I'm all for the brutal route, we get Konosuke to beat the living hell out of him, and Darby has to throw in the towel for Sting.
Oh my
goodness. You're very evil.
Also, Tony, if you go with this idea, I demand $1 million.
You.
Eric, just let it go, dude. Let it go.
Okay, can he at least punch Ric Flair? We have former Konosuke punch Ric Flair. He's allowed to take bumps, he said.
I mean, yeah, we get that, but...
Right. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. We'll have a different story. Nice segue. As far as Sting goes, I do think it should be Sting goes. I think he should lose, but I just don't think they should do what the most obvious thing seems to be Darby Allin, especially if Darby Allin's going to go climb Mount Everest, and you might never see him again. It might be Showtime last time for somebody else. Just saying. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the fact that AEW have officially signed Ric Flair to a multi-year deal.
2 years.
2 year deal.
What?
It's a 2 year deal from what reports are coming out.
But still, a lot can happen in 2 years. I'm just saying, especially in AEW. Don't forget, this is the company that went from 4 pay-per-views to 8 pay-per-views within 1 year. Now you have Ric Flair there, and there's no telling what that man might want to try and do or try to endorse. Okay, so let's talk about it subtly, all right? First off, Ric Flair in AEW in 2023. Yeah, that was not on my bingo card.
It was on the 2022 bingo card until he canceled himself. Till Dark Side of the Ring canceled him.
Yeah, there's that. Apparently, some stuff's not forgotten, or some stuff's trying to be forgotten.
I'm still not forgiving what Tommy Dreamer did. My hair is clearly defensible to Ric Flair's horrible actions because I don't know, because he's an idiot and he has 2 daughters who would clearly be asking their dad what the hell.
Well, I mean, with good thoughts behind it, I'm sure, but yeah,
there was no thoughts. It's basically him saying, "Look, Ric Flair's going to do what Ric Flair does, but look at my 2 buns here."
Right, because that's so much more important, it seems. That being said, King, let's start with you on this. Ric Flair, whoa or oh? What's your thoughts on him being part of AEW? That besides his Edge being, I never even heard of that shit. Edge being the official thing, going along with Sting for the ride. And to be fair, since the initial promo, we have not seen Ric Flair at all in any capacity on our screen.
He'll probably be at Full Gear.
He'll probably be out. That's it's most likely going to happen. I mean, it's LA. It's the City of Angels. I mean, it's come on now. It's right there. But Ric Flair in AEW. Yeah, this was not on my bingo card whatsoever. And I did not know that he could be signed on the AEW through his energy drink.
I didn't even know he had an energy drink.
Yeah, I think that's probably why he asked for them to sign. Like, okay, look, can I come on TV and the energy drink will pay me? That you don't have to feel any shame whatsoever.
But it's like, but with him in AEW now, it's 2 years. Just have him manage Andrade. Since Andrade is like, I'm guessing he's going. Oh, well, no, because that's CJ Perry. Because CJ Perry got her first client.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Oh, you want to know what this is probably going to lead to besides Miro?
Uh-oh.
You don't think
be like, hey, so Charlotte, I hear WWE hates you now. Do you want to come over and fight with CJ over Andrade?
Yep, I knew it. I knew exactly what he's doing there.
I'm just gonna say this for the record, and I'm on tape for this. I do not believe that Charlotte Flair will ever be All Elite.
Okay, we can say that about Paul White. We can say that about Mark Henry. We can say about Adam Copeland.
Okay, who's the most predominant female presence in the WWE ecosystem with 16 title runs?
But I'm just saying,
fair, half of those title runs only happen because, okay, Ric Flair almost died, so we need to exploit that to justify any horrible actions we do.
He's not wrong.
And hasn't even Charlotte admitted she's been frustrated with everything, especially with
Yep.
what
Of course
happened
she
to her?
has.
She has been. She has expressed that. So that's what I'm
Especially with
saying.
Becky after what happened last year.
And you
we
would
don't
think
know
some of
about
these
that,
people
okay.
that we never thought of that will be, you would think that, okay, they'll be WWE lifers. They'll never leave the company. Boom, here's this name, and this name here.
And look, remember, although it ended very tragically, we still had a CM Punk run after 7 years where he said, I will never come back after what they did to me.
If Aaron Riff has taught me anything in his way of reviewing professional wrestling, sports, and entertainment, the madman, for 25 years, damn it, as I've only known NoDQ and him since 2017, truly never say never has never had more of a factual meaning behind its 3 words than 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if Ric Flair's just there to endorse an energy drink and bring more money to AEW and maybe be more there for, like, I don't know, a promo type thing, but a backstage capacity, because he does need to take up time on the AEW product. But now I know they're going to his freaking home turf. He's on the freaking forefront of the fucking banner. That's going to be the one time I could see them bring him out to the ring and either confront somebody or call out somebody. Other than that, I don't think I need to see Ric Flair on my
know what
screen.
they're going to do with him eventually, right?
What?
The long-awaited Impact sequel to Woo Off.
Oh, Lord.
Which I wouldn't mind having in Charlotte.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
So that means you get to see Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, and Jay Lethal hang out with Ric Flair.
Oh,
my anxiety! It's fucking TNA 2010 all over again! No! That fucking witch and freaking no.
Tranquilo.
I'm fine. I'm not going there. They're not gonna do that. We don't need unless Jay Lethal drops the Goonies, and that's an insult to the Goonies. And yes, I know what that is. Freaking Jay Lethal is not gonna go Black Machismo in AEW, but maybe he should to try and reset his career, like Tony Storm becoming illustrious and then timeless. Just saying. But yeah, you don't need Ric Flair on an on-screen capacity to AEW. Not with how much youthful, young, rising talent you are making into stars as of late. You even said yourself with that photo of MJF, for example, and all the young people there. Hell, MJF defended the title against the longest-running superstar still in creation, Daniel Garcia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And also, you don't need Ric Flair to push the AEW product, in my opinion. With all the great minds you got there, with Jerry Lynn, with Sting, who does retire. Doesn't mean he won't still be involved in AEW. I'm just saying. Producer role,
So here's the thing: Ric Flair going all elite. Like we thought that was going to happen last year before he was canceled.
Yeah,
right.
But people have been having a massive gripe about it ever since Tony Khan went morally grandstand because of what Vince did.
So here, Tony Khan shot himself in the foot, and here's the reason: Tony Khan is the only producer. He is the only. Damn it. Tony Khan is the only wrestling company owner of this scale, to our knowledge, that freaking grew up in the age of the industry known as the internet wrestling community.
And ECW OG.
Yeah. And basically, well, ECW didn't have Twitter at the time. Otherwise, probably.
Yeah, though, to be fair, the whole FTW mentality was from them primarily with WCW.
Yeah, that's true, but they did a whole
Yep.
different way, not through internet publicity. The fact of the matter is that Tony Khan believes he has to always have some sort of internet publicity stunt through the Twitter that should be dead at this point, in my opinion. He's only hurting his own identity in the industry. And that's what's driving people away from the product. Not the wrestlers, not the wrestling. It's Tony Khan's Twitter behavior. It's Tony Khan's social activity. He needs a real social media business director or something, or someone take the damn phone away from him. Seriously.
Because remember what happened to the last multi-billionaire that went on Twitter and ranted every single second of the day? And I won't say his name because he's Vince McMahon's buddy.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah. Also, there was something else I wanted to mention.
Go for it.
Besides Tony Khan doing the moral grandstanding that he did, that shot himself in the foot big time, there's still people that are still pissed off at the Young Bucks and Kenny and the whole CM Punk debacle. So, yeah, that kind of hurt.
That's why I look at you, bruv.
All I gotta say is let it go. Seriously, we all grown. We need to move on from it. That what's done, it's done.
Well,
Everybody
that has actually moved on from it because now people are saying, "Oh, it's clearly the devil, CM Punk. He's back," and I'm like, "Okay, look. In a perfect fantasy world, I could see that. Maybe in another timeline, but." Even though AEW is not a publicly traded company and they can theoretically do whatever you want, would this be a horrendous disaster waiting to happen if you said, we fired this guy with cause, he almost tried to attack the CEO of the company, so we're going to just bring him back and have him be the devil and have a big storyline to close out his career?
Do you know how much headline it will tract if it turns out to be him? Twitter, I will be off of there for weeks.
I wouldn't blame you.
And yeah, like here's the thing: it would be cool if Punk was the devil. He's been teasing on it on Instagram along with the devil.
Oh, I've seen his
trolling.
He loves trolling, dude.
Yeah, I know. He's trolling both sides now, and it's like, oh god.
He's got the industry in his hands or in his palm, quite literally.
He knows that, and of course,
all he had to do was just write a bunch of posts on Instagram, and he's not even on TV.
Nope.
And he's still talking about to this day, and I guarantee you there will be a chant heard at AEW in Chicago next week, and it will be for 1 Second City Saints CM.
Oh, yeah, because it's Thanksgiving tradition. Yep, Chicago Wintrust. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Though, here's the other thing. Here's the thing. Tony Khan needs, we know what's going to happen. What's going to happen on this coming Friday?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. It's the Wrestling War before 2024 as AEW and WWE go head-to-head in competition, if you all believe in such a gimmick. This Friday, of course, we have AEW Collision. We have AEW Rampage, both live, back-to-back from the Fabulous Forum. And alongside that, during Collision, particularly Friday Night SmackDown. Now, last time we had this, of course, was on a Tuesday night, when it was Tuesday Title Night Dynamite. And it was
constantly both the most awesome night and yet depressing night because it was like, hey, NXT is a developmental project. Escalation warfare! Maximum escalation!
Well, I mean, again, it really comes down to your perspective. I mean, Undertaker said, again, perception is everything. I also say hindsight's 2020. I also don't look at the fat-ass wallet being the best thing on your screen because WWE to me is still very underwhelming, and Roman Reigns is boring. There, I said it. That being said, again, we looked at Tuesday Night Dynamite. We looked at NXT. I will give credit's due. Both shows delivered quality TV. I will say this, though. NXT pulled out the stops. They brought John Cena. They brought Paul Heyman. They brought Asuka, who's still undefeated in NXT. And they also brought the fucking badass Undertaker, which, again, if you're not a mark for that, you're not a wrestling fan, in my opinion.
I got a question. What would have happened if both shows closed with Undertaker on NXT and Sting on AEW?
Yeah, you would have just messed with the fans' heart at that. You just tugging on the heartstrings.
Because then people would be like saying, we haven't left the 90s, have we?
No, exactly. That's the problem. People still live in the 90s. People think there actually is a war. There is a side to choose to stand by. There is actual, competition for us to actually deal with. It's not with us. It's with the networks. It's with the suits. Yes, I know I'm wearing a suit, but guess what? I work for a nonprofit and I still have $40,000 in debt. Anyway, I'm Superman. Yeah, story of my life. You know, it's a sad story, but it's also an okay story because at the end of the day, I have a house. But at the end of the day, both shows push each other to bring a better product. At the end of the day, that night, and when nights like that happen, the only ones that truly matter that win are the fans. The fans need to realize their perspective. There is more than one company to this industry. There is more than one entity to this industry. There is more than one superstar, one champion to this industry. I think Roman Reigns boring. I think MJF is incredible. I think that Damage Control has potential in being the best thing to happen on women in WWE. I think right now AEW needs to raise the stock in the AEW women's locker room with better booking. Both shows, both companies have their pros and cons, just like anything else. Whether you eat ice cream, whether you drink a different drink, whether you choose to do this on a different day versus that day, whether you choose to sleep more this day or that day. Pros and cons to everything, but truly it's not about who is the best. It's about what you get amongst everything. And at the end of the day, can you have a nice night of rest after enjoying professional wrestling?
Except for Tony Khan. He lost his absolute collective mind.
Well, unfortunately, again, Tony Khan is a man-child. He literally lives on the social media, and that's the problem. Triple H and freaking Shawn Michaels and freaking Scott D'Amore didn't grow up with that. They didn't have to deal with that. The perception of peer pressure that Tony Khan believes he has to exude by putting everything out on social media is only hurting him more than it's hurting others. But the fact of the matter, where his position is, it does inadvertently hurt the company. And that's what I think has really started to derail interest in All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, though, here's the thing. If this was a public company, then people would be saying Tony Khan would have to go after that if this was a publicly traded company, which is WWE going through, and now they look like they're ready to throw Vince out. So hallelujah on that. But
seeing is believing.
Yeah, same. I believe.
Yeah, but SEC filings are more indicative of the fact that we kind of might have to push him out more. So that was fun. But here's the thing: I'm all for Tony Khan being on Twitter if he was more, since he wants to be more transparent and honest with the fans. Well, as honest as one can be in the wrestling business. I'm all for that. But if he just stopped freaking out every single second, then we're not going to get anything done here.
No, we're just going to literally be spinning the same wheel and not moving any forward. Again, Tony Khan needs to change beyond the Twitterverse, the Xverse, the Twix, the Blue Bird shot dead in the heart, now a freaking cross under Elon Musk, whatever the hell you want to call it.
By the way, Elon Musk might lose Twitter. Apparently, the people who helped him buy the company might be like, "Yeah, this is taking a complete loss. Can we like get rid of him and just revert it back to Twitter?"
Please save me. Well, I mean, that's a whole different business discussion for another day. But at the end of the day, back to what this really is about. It's okay to have more than one show in your peripheral in the wrestling industry. And you can coexist with different people and their choices in a constructive matter of what they choose to watch that they see fit. Case in point, you watch the NoDQ panel on AEW. Who was the most excited person on that panel? It was me. Steve-O, he likes AEW, but he's tired of the shenanigans of politics. Marshall, good friend. He, first time on camera, I think it was a little shy there. I think there was a tape delay. And Aaron, of course, he's the guy that just gets down with the sickness, endures the freaking virtual madness. And Jerry, God bless him, he brings the madness, but he's one of the most creative, open-minded, unbiased wrestling fans and friends I know outside ATW. And go follow him, folks, on his group armbar. That's ARMBAR ! Don't forget it. That's for you, Jerry. See you soon. But yeah, King, what's your whole idea? What's your whole thoughts on this whole dynamic that we still seem to have in 2023, where it's like there has to be a rivalry like football, like Ohio State and freaking
to be fair. I mean, when it comes to the whole wrestling companies, let me just say this, King. King and Noah. It's more like the wrestlers are all right with each other. Like, hey, you're cool. Yeah, you're cool. Yeah. Hey, Christian, you want to hang out? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It's just the fans and the executives that are taking the pissing contest.
Well, at the end of the day, both of them need to wake up and realize where they really
It's sort
are
of like
wrong.
Marvel and DC. Like the creators love each other. Like, yeah, we're awesome. Yeah, you're cool. Hey, you want to do a crossover? And then the Marvel and DC heads are like, no, we can't have that. No crossover.
They're
No,
freaking implode the entire universe, and you got freaking Dark Side and Funnels on
But
the same
look,
side.
we can argue the semantics about Tony Khan all day, but at least AEW's in a better place than what NWA did.
Oh, we'll talk more about that here shortly when I give an ATW View highlight roundup. But that being said, King, you're following the whole idea of wrestling competitions, dual nighters, dual shows, dual time slots, AEW, WWE particularly. Is it good for the business and better for the fans, or is it more of vice versa? Bad for the business, good for the fans? What's your take on it?
It's with me, it's like good competition is good, really. Like, but the one thing I have, and it's still like it's gone away now and it's been gone away, but it's like it's this NXT is supposed to be your developmental show.
Yes.
So why? Like, I know the wrestlers are cool with it because that's them. That's why I say I respect. That's why I've always said I respect the wrestlers down there in WWE. I respect the wrestlers. I don't respect the company for the shenanigans and other stuff like that. So it's like, why were y'all stacking y'all's main roster top big names just to prove a point of, beating AEW for? Like, there was no sense of that. If it was developmental, still being NXT, I would have been fine with that. But you had to stack it up just so that y'all could beat AEW, just in the ratings and the demographics, like they're for it.
Now, King, here's the thing. I agree with you. I actually said this. Look, could you just goddamn admit it about AEW guys? But here's the thing. You seem to forget this. TK already admitted it for them in that SEC set filing that AEW is one of their competitors.
Yep, yeah. And I seen that. I remember you telling me about that. I remember
you shared that, and it was spoken verbatim.
Yeah. But it seems like a good old Hunter and Sean don't want to admit that just yet.
That's why TK had to admit it for them.
Yep,
well,
and
then
said
again, I used to say completely something different, but I'll even say the NXT is better than it used to be, but I digress. Continue.
But as far as AEW side, as much as I follow the man on Twitter, y'all know me. That's why I keep y'all up to date. Me and Eric keep y'all up to date. Most of the time.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only person I follow on Twitter that's notifications on besides AEW, the promotion themselves, and Ring of Honor. Creatively wise, for the love of God, I know this is like sounding like a dead, this sound like a broken record at this rate. But please, oh please, fix the women's division, because your Ring of Honor women's division is doing by far better than your main show's division, because
actually,
you have
actually was a confirmation why the women's division is not given enough time.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
I'm listening.
Tony Khan apparently said this. I don't know. I got this from secondhand knowledge from other people who were keeping track of why the women's wrestling scene in AEW is bad. But the reason why Tony Khan's been booking the Ring of Honor one is so well is because, unlike AEW, who's on TV more?
Know it. I know that was the first thing that popped in my head.
The reason why Tony Khan doesn't book the women's as much as he should is because, whereas in Ring of Honor, he's allowed to book them well because they're on their own thing. They can do whatever they want. They don't need to be on TV and whatnot. We can do whatever we want. Whereas in AEW, it's the ratings. We need to pop them ratings. We need to get some good.
But also, the damn company is still dictated by the network.
Yes,
but it's also, you have to realize as well, you have Madison Rayne there. You have Sarah Del Rey. You also have your other women talent there that could possibly help. But it's like Tony wants to manage to do this all his own. Why not?
And I like to just mention, even if you had all those, if the rating system says no, these women will not draw enough money compared to MGF, then the network will say nope, you gotta lower their expectations, you gotta raise these guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, politics still rules the world no matter what industry you talk about. It's still heavily endorsed on the side of professional wrestling, even with a man that's not a publicly traded company that would literally go down with his ship like the captain went down with the Titanic. But that being said, I still think you should fight for the women to be more involved on your presentation. Now, do I think you need an all-women show? No. Maybe you can do it with Rampage once in a while, like NXT does. I'll give NXT credit's due. They actually have developed.
Well, speaking of that whole women stuff, the All Elite Women thing, Tony Khan admitted he did try to push for that.
I figured.
He apparently did try to push for that, but then things broke down, and he was like, "I'll wait. I'll come back to it when the TV rights come up." So okay, if I'm the booker, if I'm the network, and I was like, okay, TK, since we're probably gonna put you on streaming on HBO Max, I'm still calling it that. Fuck you, David Zaslav.
Fair enough. Continue.
I would have said, okay, Tony, you can have your women get represented more. We can put them on the streaming platform. We'll give them their own show on the streaming platform. You can do whatever you want with them. We don't care. So long as we get our good numbers with MJF and all those other guys, you can have the women have their fun.
Just like Ring of Honor was supposed to be on the CW.
Everything.
Just like Ring of Honor was. Just like Ring of Honor was supposed to be on the CW network last year.
Yeah, and Tony Khan apparently turned that down. And I wonder, before I maybe breaks that down a little bit, because this is a nice segue when we talk about CW, Ring of Honor, and the thing about Ring of Honor is like, yeah, why wouldn't you do that? But again, you would be on a network, and then that would be a whole different direction and advertising. And I again, Tony Khan has said verbatim, streaming-based wrestling is a lot easier to book than TV-based wrestling because he doesn't worry about those time cues or the advertisers or the marketing because it's an own enclosed platform, like you said. So yeah, more revenue probably could have been there. We're just looking at Collision, and I'm just saying.
Actually, there's another reason.
I figured, but I'm just talking real quick. And of course, Collision is still my show of the week usually. I do think Ring of Honor still is safest in how it's booked now with Honor Club. And the fact they actually are giving the next pay-per-view for Honor Club members, that's, for those that don't know, put that math for you. That's $10 versus $50. Just saying. I think it's a fair deal. But I've also noticed, particularly tonight, I don't know if you noticed, King, those match conversions with more sports, BR was listed below to share content, which might go again to y'all's point about them going to HBO Max, but maybe that's something to be announced at World's End. I don't know, but yeah, Eric, you got something to say regarding CW as far as Ring of Honor goes, because I'm sure Ring of Honor was probably the first thing expected for CW, and then the NWA was probably going alongside that. Then NWA fucked themselves.
Well, here's the thing: Tony Khan was the one that said CW came to them and said, "Hey, we'll put Ring of Honor on the show," and Tony Khan was like, we could do that. Oh wait. Can we hold on that meeting? I need to secure my rights with AEW first, because if I do this and the TV stuff comes up, I'll basically be fighting with myself, and everyone already knows I'm crazy enough as is.
I say that man's on the verge of a mental breakdown. He has to fight with another network, and he's only finding himself.
So yeah, Tony Khan was in this position where he probably did want to put Ring of Honor on CW, but he was like, "I need to secure AEW's TV deals first, because if I keep them both on the table, then I'm basically fighting against myself."
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you find yourself, you're costing yourself. You really think about it. So again, I just think Ring of Honor right now is just comfortable in their little streaming bubble, because at the end of the day, Ring of Honor content is still separate from the AEW content library. Now, it's one of those things, can the two coexist? Clearly, we see it all the time on freaking Dynamite. Duh. So yes, but as far as the content library and the rights goes, and doing like, what Dark and Elevation was basically, what people have basically compared Honor Club to. Ouch. But they're kind of not wrong. It's one of those things where right now I think Tony Khan's just got a bit of a fickle web that he's trying to unravel. And I think it starts with trying to bring the pay-per-views to the Max app if he's going to literally go from 8 to, God forbid, 12 a year. So, King, what's your...
The only way I'll accept the 12 pay-per-view system is if we get the Max deal.
And
that's the only way I accept. That is the only way I accept.
I already told you guys the math on what we spent this year on pay-per-views. And keep in mind, we got Full Gear this Saturday. We got Ring of Honor. Well, that was nice. They did Ring of Honor, so I'm not going to count that. But basically, we got Full Gear, and we got a pay-per-view after Christmas. Keep that in mind. After Christmas. The last weekend of the year. Are you fucking kidding me, Tony Khan? Anyway, again, go ahead and give your thoughts regarding CW. What the hell do you want? And is Ring of Honor better off just being within the Honor Club bubble, or should they maybe think about a TV deal down the line? What's been your take on the Ring of Honor CW fallout? And then we could probably bring it back to Eric to talk more about NWA fuck themselves up and how NXT is officially going to the CW, which I find quite interesting. But go ahead, King.
Oh man, I guess I'm just gonna have to bring the one that brings the truth to this whole Ring of Honor thing, even though we probably already know the truth about Ring of Honor. But I seen Righteous Reg post about it yesterday or the day before on Twitter. And that is, whether you guys want to accept it or not, Ring of Honor is a developmental brand for AEW. And the more I think about it and the more I digest it and the more I analyze that, he's got a point. Because when I think about it, it's more like, people fine-tuning in Ring of Honor just to get ready for, AEW, whether that be for Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, whatever. So I do see it as a more of a developmental brand it's basically AEW's NXT when we think about it. So, I know people don't want to accept that. I know because, when y'all alluded to, when y'all was talking about CW and then Tony Khan, it kind of makes sense because for Tony to basically be Madman Tony with the booking and Ring of Honor and book all these crazy banger matches in Ring of Honor, then, of course, we get bangers on Dynamite or Rampage or on Collision, but they're TV restricted. So it's more better with, Tony booking Ring of Honor on Honor Club than him doing the CW, because we will probably be in the same web with Dynamite and Collision and Rampage and being under the TV restriction if we was to have Ring of Honor on the CW.
Yeah, again, you got more of a free realm, a comfort zone, if we're being perfectly honest, for how you book Ring of Honor if you keep it within the Honor Club streaming platform. Again, if the WWE Network never went to the freaking USA network with NXT, I very well would still believe that this is my NXT. Why it's still quite not better, but it's still fickle for me. To say the least.
Metaphor.
Don't start with the.
Oh, by the way, taping came out for the new taping for next week, NXT.
What?
Yeah, well, guess what? The Metaphor are now in a feud over their Heritage Cup.
And Lash Legend has qualified to be in the Iron Survivor Women's.
Fucking TikTok region beat the Prodigy. That's bullshit.
Yep, that happened.
Yeah, Kane, tell him who he beat.
Lash Legend beat. Yeah, you just said it. Lash Legend beat Roxanne Perez clean.
Not my NXT! Damn it!
Well, here's the thing that did come out. Noam Dar of the Metaphor defeated Chad Gable by time limit.
Alright.
Well, Chad Gable almost won. It's just the time limit expired and he tapped out afterwards.
But still defeated Chad Gable. The words you just said.
This is the guy that formerly faced Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Just saying.
So, do we consider the Heritage Cup to be the downfall of what it once was whenever it was first brought up in NXT UK?
I just think of the Heritage Cup as that King of Pro Wrestling Cup that they have in New Japan.
At least KOPW. No.
You realize who has it now, right? Why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about ATW highlights. So for those that don't know, this is where I talk a little bit about things going on across all things wrestling as we, of course, look at all things wrestling here. Primarily, of course, talk about the big companies. Impact Wrestling, of course, did their UK tour, Turning Point. We saw how greatness really defined greatness. Great opening women's match with the Virtuosa. Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz, they went one-on-one, and after Tasha's arm was nearly taken out of its socket, Tasha Steelz beat the Virtuosa, clean out the whistle, 2 cutters in the middle of the ring, And definitely goes to show when Deonna Purrazzo is on screen, she is the main event, even in opening. Long may she reign. As we prepare for the final Impact show before TNA finally comes back, and that, of course, will be Final Resolution. By the way, Alex Shelley, Jonathan Gresham, sleeper match for Match of the Year at Impact Wrestling, technically proficient to the highest degree. That's just a little bit, of course, of stuff about Impact, because, again, I can't talk about everything. Go check out Datilla's It's Wrestling Time for more about that. She covers Impact every week. As you talked about with NXT, I'm just going to say the two happiest things right now for me. Congratulations to Lyra Valkyria, a.k.a. the former Aloy Valkyrie, finally winning the NXT Women's Championship from her idol, Becky Lynch. I feel like that was a real pass the torch moment. Why Becky Lynch was, let's call it what it is, the odd one out of the original four horsemen of our NXT. Never achieving the NXT Championship during that time. Why people are already talking about maybe the next four pillars being the likes of Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez, and Lyra Valkyria. I think there's a lot of merit to that, so I'm very happy to see her now leading NXT along with Ilya Dragunov. That is damn good stuff in my opinion. Will Ospreay continues to prove why he should be called Wrestler of the Year, but I digress. After going through Speed on My Bay and freaking Bound for Glory, going through Eddie Edwards at Turning Point, he literally went to war, I think his longest match this year, with Shota Umino, who proved how far he has come for the IWGP National Kingdom Championship, came that damn fucking close to winning. But Ospreay still found a way to survive the roughneck as respect was shown between the two. And then afterwards, the Death Rider came back to New Japan and beat Greto Khan. Oh, hell. In a Falls Count Anywhere in Osaka match. Crazy son of a bitches. We saw the confrontation. Also before that, 6-man neverweight tag. TMDK continues to show how incredible they are. Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't give a damn about Speedball My Belly's fingers. Jesus.
Yeah.
Aya Watani get well soon. I know she's injured, but she's supposed to defend IWGP Women's Championship against Stephanie Valkyria. And Akiza defended the NWW Strongweight Championship subject against Satoshi Kojima. Shiga Nakai, of course, still our new never openweight champion as once again continues to form. And David Finlay just destroyed the legacy property of both Moxley, which is why I knew this guy. Wanted to get that out of the way real quick before I continue. So,
there is something else I need to tell you.
Go for it.
Okay, you both love Carmelo Hayes, right?
And of course, Melo don't miss. He's
Melo don't miss
coming out of this NXT.
Well, he's set to qualify match for the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Yeah.
Are you about to
He lost to
it?
Josh Briggs thanks to Alexis King.
The formerly known Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, so Josh Briggs defeated Carmelo Hayes.
Wait. Josh
Briggs
is in the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Yes, that's what
and
he just
defeated
said.
Carmelo Hayes thanks to King.
Alexis Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, he distracted him, and Briggs capitalized with a lariat and a top row moonsault.
JJ, your brand's fucking it up. Anyway,
And he got that out the way. I'm gonna get this out the way before I let you continue to talk everything.
Go for it.
Why did David Finlay had to interject himself on this Will Ospreay, John Moxley, Wrestle Kingdom 18? You would have just left off being fine with it being Will Ospreay versus John Moxley for the title, but no, Mr. Jay White knockoff had to interject himself into the picture. Why? Oh, wait, and I know what you're saying, because he destroyed both titles. Okay, I get that. But even with that, he should still not be in this picture.
I mean, like, here's the thing, King. The tragedy is that they probably wouldn't have done this match if it was a 2-night thing. This is a 1-night event.
Starting on my Bullet Club.
If it was a 1-night event, if it was a 2-night event, we probably would have gotten Ospreay and Moxley, and David Finlay could just fuck off and do something else.
Yeah, this is all Gato's fault. I know.
But here's the thing. They announced in the wake of the destruction of the UK and US titles that a new title shall be made in its place. And I was
no idea what that is. Like,
no idea.
Response to this was this. Can it be a white belt? You know,
I mean, you
whites
know,
and
just
gold.
something prestige that stands out. You know, something that
you
puts
know.
in global value.
I don't
I'm just
know.
saying. You know, there used to be a title like that where the likes
I
of certain
remember.
people that never won it should have won it, including one Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii. Go along with me if you're talking with me here. I don't know. I'm just talking about the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
Yes.
That was the most beautiful belt known to man.
And next to the IWGP version 4 Heavyweight Championship,
Yep.
but I also
Yep.
digress. And speaking of IWGP Heavyweight Champions, Kazuchika Okada, he has been called out for Bryan Danielson too. An eye for an arm. Oh, baby. Get me to January 4th.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Bryan has an orbital bone fracture, and he was like, okay, my eye is busted. I'll be back next week.
Yep.
Because this is Bryan Danielson we're fucking talking about. I'm just
and of course we got. So that's a good way that you did that because isn't he competing in the I don't know, the AEW G1 version of the Continental Classic?
Yes, you'll be correct. Let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. I'll also say this: WWE, do something different besides having Roman Reigns be the freaking hostile holder of your entire company. But I digress. Especially if he's not going to show up at Royal Rumble. Logan Paul, you still suck as a human being, but thank you for saying
speaking of Logan Paul, there's something I gotta mention.
Go for it.
He's breaking WWE policy. He's making love with the belt in bed.
Didn't I see a clip of him pawning the U.S. Championship belt?
Pawning?
Yeah. He was told, okay, Logan, you can do whatever you want with the belt. You can shower with it. And you did. Do not go to bed with it with another woman.
And he did that too.
I'm Logan Paul. I can do whatever I want. So we stop him?
Well, that's weird.
We can't stop him.
I'm about to say it's Logan Paul. You can't stop him.
But speaking of the Continental Classic, Bryan Danielson is the first participant because he had to be high on drugs.
Right, because this is the same man, like you said, that might not have a fully prepared orbital bone, but
he was supposed. The doctor told him straight up, according to reports, you are gone until near the end of this year. So end of the year, man.
Well, he has to be the guy that has to be involved in this December-long round-robin tournament. We'll have 2 blocks, 6 that will compete in one-on-one matches throughout the continental 48-state United States, and the finals will culminate at the end of the year in Orlando, Florida. As the tournament starts next week in the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois, our participants will be announced. I have to imagine AW full gear. I mean, because we don't know anybody besides Bryan Danielson. I know people at fantasy books the likes of Miro, Powerhouse Haas, Malachi Black, Kenny Omega, because it's Kenny Omega, by God.
Swerve Strickland.
Swerve Strickland, just to name a few. John Moxley. And also, we learned that the winner of the first ever AEW Continental Classic will be crowned at the last pay-per-view of AEW 2023. World's End in MJF's hometown of Newark, New Jersey. We do not know what the prize will be. We do not know what the champion will receive. We do not know if the championship match is to be given following. More details are to come. Stay tuned on the ATW Impromptu Post Full Gear special. We'll talk more about that as details are given to us. So again, Bryan Danielson, he's the guy that wanted to be involved in a G1 Climax. Crazy son of a bitch. And of course, he is coming up on the end of his career as a full-time wrestler at the name of his family being a father. Very noble. But he also stated that he will be involved at next year's AEW All in London in Wembley Stadium. If they do not play the final countdown during that show, Tony Khan, you made the ultimate fuck up of your life. But I digress. So, guys, Mini G1. I mean, again, Pro Wrestling Noah. We talk about Stardom. We talk about NJPW. Even NXT tried some of the Global Invitational. Who gives a fuck about that? But that being said, because that was for the Heritage Cup. Should have been for something more important. What can we expect from this? We know AEW loves to do tournaments, all right? And they always define something. I mean, we had the Owen Hart. We've had the TBS Nargo tournament. We've had interim.
Well, to be fair, Noah.
Tournaments. So
to be fair, they did skip the Full Gear tournament this year for it.
That's true, because you're right about that. Because 2 years ago it was literally about crowning a new number one contender for the AEW World Championship. And at that one, it was Bryan Danielson that won and faced Hangman shortly after to a freaking 60-minute draw. Crazy son of a bitch.
Winter is coming.
And of course, we know winter is coming. Will be once again in December a standard Dynamite, and it will be one of the Dynamites during this tournament.
Yes. So they need to do a big match for that. So here's the question. Who would you want to be participants besides Bryan? Like, I feel like we need to get the elite among the elite for this.
Oh, it has to be.
Yes. It can't be your typical Dark Order members. All due respect to them.
Dark Order.
It can't be the Jeff Jarrett's of the world.
Nope.
It has to be the top tier elite of the elite.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to bring out all the stops. You got to bring out the biggest stars, the heaviest hitters.
Unfortunately, Ray Phoenix will not be one of them. He's still not cleared.
We were supposed to get the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros, but we had Penta and Commander being a substitute.
That was still a great.
But it was still a fun tag team match regardless. But yeah, it was supposed to be Young Bucks and Lucha Bros.
So I mean, again, we're just talking about names here. Let's think about this, guys. Remember, it's going to be 2 blocks: Block A, Block B. Each block has 6 participants. Bryan Danielson will be in one of those blocks. So just think about Bryan Danielson matches you haven't seen yet or you want to see run back, considering what matches Bryan Danielson had in 2023. Include but not limited to against the likes of MJF. Obviously not going to be in this. He's the freaking champion at this point.
To be fair, the G1 had the IWGP champion.
Okay, well, we'll put that in perspective. Maybe you're right there. He's had matches with Andrade Eagle. He had matches with Brian Cage. He had matches with freaking Roosh. He's had matches with freaking, dear God.
MJF.
Well, I'm trying to figure that road to Revolution where he had.
He also had Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, Swerve Strickland. Thank you. So, again, that was another band. That was on Dynamite recently, too. So, again, Bryan Danielson, if it wasn't for the fact that he got, injured and hadn't been, heavily involved in singles matches, he'd be right up there with Will Ospreay. So, again, who could we see Bryan Danielson beat against that he has beat against? What about one of his own members of Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli? We have not yet seen Claudio Castagnoli versus Bryan Danielson yet in AEW.
Yes.
We have not, but have they, I don't think Tony has even mentioned that other promotions could get involved too. Now that
I think he said it would just be strictly all elite wrestlers.
Yeah, I think he said 12 AEW superstars, and like you said, the guy brought out the elite of the elite. We're talking about Bryan Danielson.
If Tony Khan, if I was Tony Khan, I would actually consider getting more non-AEW affiliated wrestlers involved, probably at the second one, and have a C block.
Which this, from what I've heard, this is going to be a trial run because the women's Continental Classic has been in discussion. So they're going to give this one a trial run to see how it goes, from fans' perspective and fans' feedback. And if this goes well, we're going to get a men's and a women's.
Well, to be fair, King, as much as AEW wants to say, we want to make a women's Continental Classic, and the fans will be like, yeah, the women are finally getting represented. But then you'll have the big suits at WB saying, do they draw? I mean, if we give them good content, forget it. 5 minutes.
Well, that's why Tony Khan's got to put his foot down and actually stand up for his talent. And I know people.
Well, look, the only time Tony Khan ever risked his deal with WBD was for Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, that was probably drawing a line in itself there too. But yeah, I mean, again, Malachi, Buddy Matthews, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Swerve, Jon Moxley, Miro,
Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade would be another one too. Keith Lee.
I would actually like 50-50. If he was in there just so we can just get Swerve and him to go at it, and then we can just move on with our lives.
Yes, you are right.
Fair. You're right. That is an unfinished story. You're absolutely right. So I probably would do that, and we saw what Keith Lee could do.
No, here's the thing. If they actually do that match for the Continental Classic, and no, I'm not asking for royalties as much as I would love to, but you want to know what I would say?
What?
Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee finished the story before Cody Rhodes finished his.
Wow.
That would be the ultimate humiliation for Cody.
Look, I've talked about verbatim on Open Mind. Go check that out. Hosted by the Renegade, J.J. Williams, plus the Casa D18 Studios. I don't think WrestleMania 40 is going to matter if Cody Rhodes finishes it there, because it's not about finishing it there. It's about finishing it where it mattered. And they dropped the mark twice already. Not that I'm trying to turn this to a bash podcast, but you're very close to me turning it into that. But that being said,
Also,
yeah.
LA Knight said he's going to continue fighting to get the world title. And I was like, oh, for God's sakes. LA, it's over. If you keep fighting Roman, you're just going to end up being thrown down the card again.
I mean, he's already thrown down the card. He's feuding with Grayson Waller, I think.
I'm like, to be fair, there's really no one left. I'm like, all the titles are part-time now.
That's fair, too.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm pretty sure WWE's going to do one or two things. They're going to keep Logan Paul away from LA Knight, or they're going to wait till WrestleMania to have that match.
Well, it's not like they have another PLE till Royal Rumble, so they got a lot of time to build something out here. Oh, wait, I forgot. War Games. I forgot War Games is also a thing.
War Games.
Yeah, that's November. They don't have anything in December.
Yeah, that's true. But I forgot that Survivor Series hasn't passed by yet. That's how much I actually care.
And the fact that, once again, Roman is not set for the show.
And again, I should care because ... about this show. But if nothing else, Cody Rhodes being in the same match that his father was in, that's pretty damn cool. Anyway, back to this, though. I do think the winner of this should be treated just like a G1. They get a chance at the AEW World Championship. It just makes sense.
Yep,
yeah,
it does.
I definitely feel like we should definitely have an argument to be made on that. But here's the question: who would you think would be the winner of it if we were to get this dream feud? Like, some people feel like Swerve Strickland is too early to be contending for the world title, and I kind of agree. I feel like he should go out to the international or TNT belt for a little bit. Though Christian Cage is killing it with the literal run he's doing.
That title from Christian Cage anytime.
America's Father of the Year.
Don't start that. Talk about that here shortly.
So if you were to have anyone on the roster to win the Continental Classic and have a G1 sort of run with it until, say, Revolution, it's honestly hard to say. They would have to pull a Swerve just to get everything good. No pun intended.
Good.
Let's see. I would honestly say, you're going to be flabbergasted, but we should regain the momentum of Konosuke Takeshita.
The Alpha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. It's absolutely fair. Oh, yeah, and that's one thing I forgot, too. Like, Chris Jericho beat Konosuke Takeshita and DD Project. He took an Avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb on his coccyx. I don't know how Chris Jericho's walking straight.
By the way, there was actually people divided on that whole ending. People were arguing, why did he lose to Konosuke? Why did he win against Konosuke and whatnot? He's been found. But people also pointed out, okay. This is what someone pointed out. They said this. Okay, when was the last time Jericho won a big major match to make him actually look like a legitimate threat?
Ding. He's not retiring yet. Just saying.
But if you want, but here's what I'm hoping they do for World's End. Konosuke Takeshita in the finals. Kota Ibushi, damn it.
Since Kota Ibushi now is officially All Elite, and they have yet to have a one-on-one encounter since they both have arrived in AEW. Yeah, it's really weird to think about how many different ways this could go based on, again, who could use that, momentum strapped to them. I would say Ricky Starks, but last year he already challenged him, Jeff, for the World Championship.
And he won the Owen Cup.
Yeah, and he won the Owen. And that's another thing, too. Willow and Ricky Starks won the Owens this year. And again, as is tradition, I imagine the Owens are going to be next year, too, because AEW loves to follow tradition, though some people think you need to break tradition at times. Twin Trust Arena. But I digress. I'm just saying, they need to get away from Chicago. Seriously.
They're oversaturating that market.
We actually did consider leaving Chicago last year after the Punk debacle the first time.
Don't blame them.
But then they were like, okay, we've worked things out with Punk. We can get him back and we can keep all out at Chicago. We worked it out and we still didn't do that because of what happened at All In.
Yep.
Well, again, since All In, though, I would think they've only had an upward trajectory with the roster showcase and probably the locker room overall feel and vibe, because there hasn't really been a whole lot of backstage madness, just some dumb social media activity from the guy that writes the checks and books the show, unfortunately. even though he's still a great booker of TV content and pay-per-views.
Yep.
But I digress. But yeah, and then in other stuff, NWA shot themselves in the foot trying to take the low road, mocking Tony Khan as everybody believes that Tony Khan is on the Tony Montana special. But apparently you don't do that on the CW, so you're lucky if you're going to be only shown on the app and get the viewership.
Yeah, like when I heard this, I was like, oh god, look, I get it. Tony, the IWC's portrayal of Tony Khan is funny, but here's the thing: what works on the internet doesn't work for networks.
Nope.
Yep.
I'm like, Disney's the biggest corporation. They could buy anybody and destroy anybody, and they're like, no, don't you dare smoke on movies on TV. That's illegal, even though it's fictional.
The day that you find a smoking child or teenager in a friggin' Pixar movie is the day that Disney loses their damn mind. But
I don't know. Disney already lost their mind already. They've been kind of on a downward spiral for many. In fact, they're even considering going back into the gaming industry just to rebound.
I mean, hey, pursue a different market and you see what happens. I mean, I'll go ahead.
They want to buy EA.
Well, yeah.
They're thinking they were given a consideration. Should we buy EA? And I was like, my God, you are psychotic.
Imagine the creations they would make. Oh Lord!
Oh, imagine if they bought Rockstar, Disney, and the Grand Theft Auto franchise.
You wrong for that.
Yes, I know.
But okay, sub-tangent. Who's excited for Grand Theft Auto 6? As we know, it's now official. It's going back to Vice City. I expect Neon. I expect a lot of 80s classics. I expect Tony Montana references galore. Apparently, there might be a male and a female protagonist. So switch between the two. They might be a couple. They might be related or not related. And it might not just be Vice City. You might travel to other countries. I would hope other cities. Las Venturas, just saying. Too. But I'm excited for it personally because for me, Vice City is always my favorite city out of the GTA franchise. I've been waiting for them to recreate that.
San Andreas will always be my favorite city. San Andreas will always be my favorite city.
California, of course.
Mm.
Now, here's the thing. When I heard about GTA 6 finally happening, I was like, yes!
Same.
And I was like, they're going to finish the story before Cody. Because
wow.
You're back on that freaking thing. And as we know, we'll definitely see more about that next month when we get a trailer. But just so you all know, we are actual gamers. And I am going to say this real quick. That Like a Dragon Street Fighter was one of the most hilarious things I've seen in my entire life. Kota Ibushi just riding a bicycle all casually while just doing a still pipe. I mean, dunked by Brian Kidd with a clothesline.
Okay, you want to know what I kept saying? I think they missed an opportunity with that match tonight.
What do you mean? They did everybody.
Okay, imagine they all go backstage. They're fighting, brawling everywhere, and then all of a sudden things take a turn. Kenny and Konosuke go to the front, and then we suddenly get Street Fighter graphics up, and they're like, as the rest of the gang is beating each other in the center background.
Well, again, it wasn't brought to us by Street Fighter, even though Brian Cage sported the Sega inspired attire, which I approve as a Sega gamer. Hashtag Team Sega for life. But yeah, that was fun. And again, we play games here once in a while on ATW. I mean, hell, I'm trying to get Mario Wonder and freaking Sonic Superstars. Which one am I going to play first? You decide to guess on that. But yeah, so getting back on track. So yeah, CW. We now know what they're officially getting. NXT. That's interesting because at the end of the day, NXT is on a network that I think has more of an outreach than USA. And USA right now is getting SmackDown, but they might be losing Raw to a movie network called FX. So is Raw going to continue to be the 3-hour juggernaut of entertainment and underwhelming wrestling? Is NXT going to be developmental on the same channel as Smallville? And as far as SmackDown, will they take the USA spot where Kristen Knows Best ruled the advertisers? And will it be underwhelming there? Can we expect better change? Can we expect more in-ring content? And to be fair, since Triple H has taken over, I have noticed a lot more of in-ring content and actual, most recently, presentation of the women. He's actually trying to develop something now that it seems like he can. So good for him. I'll give credit where credit's due. All right, like I said here, I'm biased, but I do find it weird that you might have all 3 key WWE shows now on different networks. That's a little bit crazy if you ask me, especially Raw moving away from. Well, I guess it wouldn't move away from Mondays. That would just be a whole different conversation. But
no, but they said they're open for it.
They're open for it though.
No.
If I recall correctly, Amazon came out and said we'll gladly purchase SmackDown and have it on Prime. And here was my response to that. I was joking with one of my buddies on Twitter saying, Steven, the metrics, man, the Nelson ratings won't be able to process this. What will the ratings be? They'll never say we're having viewers.
Oh, damn it, Eric, you freaking idiot.
You a madman for that, dude.
He is
Well,
a
actually,
madman.
he agreed. He actually joked later, saying, "Oh God, think of the metrics. No one's watching SmackDown."
Well, that's for people that still rely on the Nielsen ratings, which is still bullshit to this day, but I digress. And it goes back to what I was saying with my friend. Do you actually watch WWE, or do you just have it on your screen as noise in the background? Who actually watches Monday Night Raw wholeheartedly, fully invested?
Well, King
Not
went
as-
to a show, so
Well, that's
he's the only
choice.
one.
But
I
as
think-
far as watching it live and anything like that, no, I watch YouTube for that.
I actually watch it on. I actually just watch the clips I want on YouTube, which is very little. The only ones I've been watching are the Roman Reigns segments. If LA Knight's doing something interesting, and that's about it. ...
Insert
And then
whatever.
people will probably say, "What about Seth Rollins?" And I'll be like, "What about him?"
He's still a champion.
But other than that, really, has he done anything like?
He's been. It's weird. He's been the workhorse, whereas Roman Reigns has been the part timer, but Roman Reigns has been the more predominant, progressive.
Except here's the thing about Seth Rollins' momentum. It's like, here's the thing. People were like, "Oh, Seth Rollins is a champ. Good. Okay." And most of his reign, it's mostly been consisting of, can he drop it to Finn Balor? Or can he drop it to Shinsuke Nakamura? Or can he drop it to Drew McIntyre? No. Well, why didn't you do that? In fact, someone actually looked something up, and when I heard this, I was like, is that actually true? Apparently, Seth Rollins' time on TV, the ratings have been decreasing with him.
Just like Jay Cargill's hype train. Oh, did I say that?
Damn, dude, what the hell you trying to start here? Whoa!
But yeah, Seth Rollins' ratings every time he's on TV have actually been decreasing.
Again, how long can you keep a person's attention on anything? That's really.
Look, if MJF starts losing viewership when he's on TV, then you know there's a problem.
Either that or people. Well, it's also the holiday season. There's more important. It matters. There's sports going on right now. I don't know what's going on in sports. That boy Mikey, he's really that.
Yeah, but every time when Roman comes back, all of a sudden the ratings go up.
He's supposed to be the needle mover, right? He's supposed to be the biggest juggernaut in the professional wwrestling, sports entertainment business. Yes, but that's a whole different conversation. I mean, people buy into that. People buy into cinema. I don't, but people buy into cinema in the wrestling industry. That's what sports entertainment is. And Roman Reigns is the biggest movie star in WWE. Let's be perfectly honest here.
But I'm just saying what I was alluding to earlier. I mean, you have her float around all 3 brands, and it's like,
wanted to bring that up. People are actually starting to ask on Twitter, both WWE and AEW fans. So, has Jay Cargill done anything else? She wasn't
like that
taping. She wasn't at anything. She's been just at the performance center. And I recall seeing this. I can't remember if they said, but Jay Cargill said something on Twitter. And when I heard this, I was like, I think we have a problem here.
What I think is the tweet similar to why do I have to wrestle when I'm still making money? Is that the tweet that you're referring to?
And then she also then she said this. Someone called her out on it, saying, because this is the wrestling business, you're gonna have to lace your boots eventually. And then she said, no, it's I'm the making money business. And I was like, God damn it.
And so basically, it's basically.
I'm just gonna say it for you, Tom King, because this is just the 100% fact. at the end of the day, WWE, if nothing else, is truly the biggest paycheck.
And it's like Jade's hype train is the cliffhanger Price is Right pricing game. I'm
posting for the rest of November, and she only posted 5 days ago saying, "I need a Waffle House photo shoot." LOL.
A Waffle House
photo shoot. The last time I heard Waffle House out of everybody in WWE was Sami Zayn when he was interacting in the Bloodline with the Usos. Talking about, hey, when Jimmy, you want to look at some Waffle House?
Oh, so look what this fan did. As show.
Okay, that's a thing.
Right there.
They wrote, "I'm Jade's BITCH."
I figured, they remember that line. But I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna say this real quick to wrap the blub on this. The future of WWE's presentations, as far as the flagship show Monday Night Raw, is still unknown. But at least now we know where SmackDown's going, where NXT's going from a production standpoint. As far as on-screen booking 2024 standpoint, who the fuck knows? Who comes in, who goes out, who stays in, who rises, who falls? We'll find out soon enough. And as far as Waffle House, I really can't say anything about Waffle House. I've never been to Waffle House, so I don't really have anything to say about it.
Wow.
There's like one Waffle House.
Has finally gotten that Slim Jim deal.
What?
LA Knight finally got that Slim Jim deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm going to have to say this. I saw the ads of the Slim Jim with LA Knight, and I was like, WWE, come here, closer. How the fuck do you screw this up? Because they just don't have LA Knight in there. They have several other talent involved, and I was like, no, LA Knight only. Then you can make a whole skit commercial for it. How did you screw this up?
They already got enough of a wall they can afford to screw up or afford to be lazy, and I figured that's really what that comes down to. At the end of the day, WWE is more profitable than ever, dude. You gotta put it in perspective.
Yeah, when you said several talent, there's a lot more than that.
Facing Vince out for it, and I'm pretty sure Vince is handling it well.
I mean, at the end of the
even
day,
though he's shared 8.3 of his million, but he's still got a firm grip on it.
As far as I'm concerned, you will never take the full grip of WWE away from Vince and Kenny McMahon. Never. But
I mean, there is one way.
Yeah, if we're not going down that road, all right. That's
no.
Like I was telling my mom earlier, you can not like a human being, but you do not have any reason. You have no real dictation. You have no real merit to dictate their life, and that's all I gotta say about that.
By the way, Noah, how do you feel to know that Carblade White is canon?
Carblade.
I hate. It's a pun. I also hate Disney.
Also, you have all heard it. Tony Khan said he's landed the next big star for wrestling for AEW, heading out full gear.
And everybody thought the names of Flip Gordon, which that one declined. He is now in CMLL.
Yeah, no one cares about Flip Gordon. The COVID.
No one cares. Exactly. Let's see. Everybody's been throwing out Kota Ibushi. We just got an all elite graphic for that. You throw his name out the list.
He's already been signed technically,
but they didn't get the graphic.
Yeah.
So that you can count that out the bag. Everybody's throwing in Will Ospreay, but his New Japan contract doesn't end until February 2024.
Exactly. So that did something like with the Thunder Rosa deal.
See, and that's why I think it's a wild card, but also I'm still sticking to it. I mean, it's in LA. Who else do we know that lives in LA?
Well, who else do we know is big time in LA besides you know who? Ronda Rousey. She was in
no.
She has been hanging out with AEW talent.
No,
Of course, it's one of the horsewomen of MMA.
If I hate to say this, and I don't want to set my hype because I know what the expectations are going to come with, and I know I'm prepared for it.
Look,
be careful, dude.
The worst thing you could probably say who it is what happened when everyone freaked out about Christian being the surprise guest. And I was like, it's a Hall of Fame worthy talent.
That
Fight for that.
I wasn't prepared for.
But here's the thing: a lot of fans had their own expectations. They were like, "Oh, what if it's Dave Bautista?" No. If you smell
No.
No, no.
His name
If the
is
Rock,
John. If you dare,
No.
say it, I will hurt
he
you.
may be on Wipeout, but John Cena. You know what? I'm not going to say anything about Adam Cole.
It's for me. It's basically Mercedes Moné or kind of bus.
Yeah.
While we could say it could be Will Ospreay, it's just that he's been on TV on AEW TV a lot. It wouldn't really be a shocking moment.
Exactly.
No. He's a member of the Don Callis family, for being perfectly honest here.
Yep. So you wouldn't consider that like a signee, so to say.
It's gonna be one of those things where it's gotta be at this point. If it's not Mercedes Moné, who the hell else do you actually have that can really
maybe Sammy Callahan? Noah crashed.
Oh my God!
Now you know how. Now you can deliver how it feels for Noah. Noah crashed on us.
Well, folks,
should we? Okay. Oh God, we're the network, sir.
Folks.
So who's the host?
It's still him.
Oh God. Imagine Noah's still talking and he doesn't know it.
I wouldn't be surprised, dude. I want to see.
He says he had a passionate speech. And he said, I had a passionate speech going in. That's what ruined it.
And here he comes. I think.
How is he going to be king now, Noah? Now you know how it feels to be like king.
Yeah, you know how it feels to be like me now. And you're the host. This is going to be on the blooper, folks. So stay tuned.
God damn it! God fucking manufacturing, budgeted desktop, laptop, bullshit machinery crashing on me. Son of a bitch. Well, as you were saying, news signing, Sammy Callahan, then my screen went dead. Go ahead and resume your point. Fuck me.
So it could be theoretically Sammy Callahan. He is a free agent.
Theoretically, yes.
The Switchblades with freaking John Moxley, and John Moxley, of course, contending for the AEW National Championship against Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy is going to have to bring out more
what
than
if it's Tessa Blanchard?
Oh, dear God.
Whoa. We do not need nuclear warfare and freaking.
No, we don't.
This is not Fallout. I'm just saying.
No, wait. I just thought about something too. What? You thought Tessa Blanchard? Yeah. Let me try and one up you here. Uh-oh. Somebody asked the villain, said if he would ever be all elite. The villain said the elite would never turn their backs on me. The one Marty Skrull.
Whoop whoop. His misdeeds are worse than Tessa's.
Yeah,
that's why I said I'm gonna try and one up you.
Let's not one up this madness. Let's just go with the safe bet. And I don't gamble. So man, don't gamble. Excuse me. Let's freaking assume the safe bet that's Mercedes Moné as we prepare for full gear weekend. So let's go ahead and briefly talk about that. Again, I'll be covering Collision and Rampage with Jeff Meacham Network's video, so check that out. Plus, check out Stupid Dit Thing. JJ might be hosting it solo with a friend. I might be doing something else for my mom's birthday. Stay tuned. But Here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and get into our main event. Let's go ahead and talk about this upcoming pay-per-view. It's once again that time as we head into Full Gear, AEW Full Gear. So we got 9 matches here, and ironically enough, they haven't put anything yet, but I'm sure Madman Tony Khan in all of his madness will probably add at least 1 or 2 more matches, considering that Zero's got 1 match and freaking Full Gear. Gotta be double digits. It's the way I always do my pay-per-views. I gotta do the 3-hour, 55-minute, 3 mark. It's all the way to do it. I gotta do some wrestling. So
because I missed the pay-per-view.
But again, the Fairbanks Forum, no one's gonna want to deal with that fucking LA traffic at the friggin'. All right, I mean, my friend Jeff and Dattila already told me what that fucking madhouse was in SoFi Stadium. In California, it's its own country when it comes to South and North California. And there's your typical simple geography lesson, courtesy of ATW. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this card, guys. Let's talk about some of these big matches here. We can talk about this one. Since we started talking about, let's go ahead and start talking about it. Like you said, Orange Cassidy defends the AEW International Championship against Jon Moxley. As we saw on Dynamite tonight, Jon Moxley, he can handle an orange punch and then throw a combat boot straight in your damn face. Looking to literally disintegrate, I think, Orange Cassidy. So if Orange Cassidy is going to do whatever possible to win, I got to wonder what the fuck whatever is going to be to beat this Jon Moxley and correct the wrong that many people thought happened to him and this title at AEW All Out. Or does Jon Moxley once again create a paradigm shift and correct what happened at Grand Slam and erase Orange Cassidy maybe once and for all? So what's everyone's take on this match?
I've seen this go 50-50 every time I see this match get talked about on Twitter. I've seen it go 50-50. I've seen some people say Moxley deserves another, reign with the title, even though he got cussed at Grand Slam due to Ray Phoenix, and he should deserve another shot, reign with the belt. But I've also seen people saying Moxley should not win the belt and Orange goes on another reign. Not to say to top his first reign, but, still have that, long reign, but not to top his first one. Me, personally, I'm split because I want Mox to get it back. But also, I feel like with this it's a new side with Orange. Ever since he won that title, when he first glanced at it, it was like another side was about to come into fruition. Like he didn't, do his usual stick with the best friends. He didn't, celebrate with them, nor was that. Like I noticed a different demeanor with him. And it's more like he will do whatever it takes to keep hold of this title and not lose it ever again type of mentality. So, and of course, with Mox, he got concussed and he had to, and Ray won it off of that.
Correct.
Unfortunately. So, and of course, Mox thinks that Orange stole it from him because how he weaseled his way back in to the international championship picture through injuries and whatnot. I'm going to go with my safe bet. And I know the safe bet, once you make the form, before Saturday, I know the safe bet might hurt me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Mox. Mox is going to beat Orange Cassidy. I still do think that Mox will get the best of Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy will once again fall short.
Okay. Eric, honestly, in my opinion, this title before the kerfuffle that happened, really starting at AEW All Out, if you want to add Grand Slam as an interest, you could do that. I thought the AEW National Championship was the strongest championship best presented in AEW history at this point. It didn't have like a bunch of kiboshes interims. It had a constant presence. It had a dedicated workhorse towards it. And it literally welcomed anybody under any foundation, whether it's singles or friends, Casino Battle Royales for that example. Orange Cassidy has been one of the MVPs of All Elite Wrestling for the better part of 2023. And it's like this title completes him, but he feels like he can't complete the title unless he beats Jon Moxley. And again, Jon Moxley, does he need to be involved in the AEW World Championship picture? Debatable. He's already going to be challenging for a title in a triple threat at Wrestle Kingdom 18. It's a whole different narrative. He's talked about how he's been in such a bad mood, both mentally and physically. Again, he's talking about his body operation.
He still hasn't taken his vacation yet.
And he hasn't, and yeah, he never took his fragging vacation, which I think he is long overdue and deserves.
I have the arthritis of a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, yet this guy survived Great O'Connor and took his hair. Oh, dare he? In Osaka. But what's your
by
take
the way,
on?
since I'm the bringer of chaos, I got some horrifying nightmare fuel for you all.
What?
Oh boy, here we go. What's up?
Guess what Top Dollar revealed? That
Oh,
was planned
Jesus
at one
Christ.
point.
Oh Lord, the flop dollar. What did flop dollar reveal?
Bob Dollar.
So remember Michael Cole was making fun of him and his suicide dive?
Yes.
Top Dollar revealed they were going to actually do a match at one point.
So Michael Cole was going to step back into the ring and face flop dollar.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Top Dollar said, okay, here was the put it. He and Michael Cole actually pitched the idea. They said this. I run around, I beat him up for 5 minutes, then I get distracted, and Michael Cole beats me with a small package.
And then Michael Cole remains undefeated.
And I was like, Top Dollar, you realize you just got beaten by a guy who has no wrestling physical experience, right?
Who is undefeated at WrestleMania, by the way? Let's not forget that.
We don't talk about that crime against Jerry the King Lawler.
But
The
I'm
record
just
says what it said, folks.
I'm just like, if you're trying to be taken seriously as a Top Dollar, you realize you'll be at best sense afterwards.
Best sense.
That's an insult to sense. Penny's not even made of copper; they're made of zinc. But that being said, Orange Cassidy made up enough.
Apparently, the plan was to have Pat McAfee get involved.
Oh,
well,
geez.
Pat McAfee's a different story because when Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are together, it's pretty much the unstoppable duo.
Pat McAfee was supposed to come out and distract Top Dollar, and Pat McAfee would be the reason he lost. And I had an idea how Sting should have his final match. Tony Schiavone actually brought it up.
What?
Bring back Surfer Sting?
Yes.
Sting. So they should just do Bats at the Beach.
So basically,
which
go back
one?
to how it all began. Not the Crow, not the Joker, but the Surfer Blonde American.
People would think that Sting went through a midlife crisis.
Yeah. This people
No,
this
that's
generation
totally
would think
Surfer
that.
Blonde's shtick.
Oh.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and get back on track here. So, what's your thoughts on this match, Eric? If you want to add anything else.
Well, here's the thing. Because of my work schedule, I have not been following much of the storylines going on in AEW currently, sadly.
That's fair.
Yeah, so really, I feel like Moxley should win because he was supposed to have a run with the belt, and then he got concussed. Oh, by the way, speaking of the concussion incident, and Stevie Richards is a video about it.
Oh, yeah.
AEW contacted him about it.
I seen that.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, when you, stick your head when it doesn't belong, you end up making an ass out of yourself. But you know what? You stick your head when it doesn't belong, you get involved in a fatal four-way for tag team championships, it seems, because, hey, you don't want to challenge nobody, now you challenge everybody. So what the hell is going to happen here since Rick Starks and Big Bill have engaged in, what are we going to call this, faction warfare?
Pretty
much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's a simple way of putting it. I like to try and be simple. As we got him defending against FTR, the Kings of Black Throne, and Los Fashions, and Gobernables. And of course, El Delistico and Rouge are newly all elite, as we know. FTR, they lost them in a squash fashion to Rick Starks and Big Bill shortly after beating Aussie Open in Wrestle Dream. I think later was the collision following. And the House of Black came back to go to war with everybody in AEW, it seems.
By Brian, but now that got canceled.
For now, Eric. For now.
For now, I said.
Okay, I'm about to say. If they put Malachi Black and Brian Danielson in the same block, Lord help both those men. But that being said, here's the thing.
No, actually, it would be kind of fitting if you think about it. Remember, Brian has a broken orbital bone, and Malachi still has the infected eye.
Well, about that infected eye. Yeah, remember when we talked about this.
Oh,
remember what I brought up that said when Malachi came out to Collision by himself that infected eye was gone. Yeah. When he came out to confront Brian Danielson and assaulted Brian Danielson, and then when he came out with the House of Black, the infected eye comes back. It seems like when Malachi is on his own, the infected eye is gone. But when he's with the House of Black, the infected eye comes back.
Well, he did say the more the eye grows, it actually becomes more powerful.
Well, you're going to need a lot of power to get through this field. And again,
Oh.
champion does not be by decision.
So
Exactly.
So here's the thing. Remember when we were talking about how we thought certain WWE lifers would never go to AEW and they did?
Yes.
What if Seth Rollins makes the jump?
I know people talked about Seth Rollins and Rebecca Quinn, okay, Becky Lynch. I think their contracts are up next year, to be fair.
Yep,
Becky Lynch
they
has
are.
done absolutely everything. That's why she's in a feud right now trying to push Xia Li.
But imagine if Seth Rollins goes all elite as Tyler Black, and his first feud is with Malachi, the guy who basically started this whole thing.
Yep.
It's not too far of the possibility, but I also got to consider this. You talk about the House of Black. Buddy Matthews is not involved in this card in any capacity. But
also, and like I just was talking about when we was doing the watch along, I said I gave you the of what Malachi posted on Instagram. Erebus were like 12. What was it again?
13.
13 were left. 4 will reveal themselves. And it makes you wonder, who is the 4 that he's talking about?
4 crowns, 4 fools, 4 members, 4 deeds.
And it's like with LFI, they're not. Roosh even said it himself. We're not the good guys. We're also not the bad guys. And of course with FTR, they want their get back after with Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And Ricky Starks and Big Bill was just like, oh, wait, we just got put in the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Wait, we're the first ones to know about this, and Tony didn't even tell us? We're the wrestlers.
Yeah, like Tony's going to tell you anything. But again, when he put out that tweet, I almost wonder if Malachi Black prophesized maybe this match, because the tweet was, damn it, botch. The freaking post on Instagram was before this match was made official. So again, foreshadowing. At the end of the day, though, we already did Blind Guts, but this is literally guerrilla warfare without the P in front of it. This is beyond ridiculous, in my opinion. But right now, I think still at the end of the day, the game's going to be FTR, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill. I think the champs are going to somehow escape because they don't have to be about a decision. And I think you're going to have a sub-few of House of Black and Los Fascists and Gobadon plays. I mean, I know Preston Vance and Ricky Starks, they got personal there with their match on Rampage, but
yep,
matches that I do think right now could go anyone's way, but doesn't need to go anyone's way at this point. I don't think so. Just personally, I don't. So that's just my take on that. All right. Well, again, as you endorse the worst father in fucking America.
No. America's Father of the Year, not worst father. America's Father of the Year. Me and Nigel are all aboard on this. Okay.
You got to. Apparently, Ric Flair will be there and at their side.
See, 2024 is the year of fathers. So I mean, is the year of fathers, and Christian Cage is at the forefront.
Oh, you delusional fool.
I'm still waiting for the Adam Copeland roast because his father was never in his life.
Oh, geez. And that will be coming.
He's already insulted the man's wife. He's already insulted the man's children. Now you're saying go straight for the juggler and attack the man's
The patriarch. That is the patriarch.
Patriarch, my ass.
Look. Since Christian Cage likes to say he's the leader of the patriarchy, I was going to say this. Why hasn't Mr. Beast smashed the patriarchy yet? He needs to smash the patriarchy.
Now you shut up while I conduct business.
Smash the patriarchy.
Oh my gosh. Well, someone's going to get smashed in a different way. But again, the only thing that's for sure about Sting, I'm not going to say anything else. He doesn't lose on pay-per-view and AEW. Thank you.
Nope. Okay, Chad Gable. But
go ahead, continue y'all spots. This is interesting to hear. Why he's admiring the patriarch, and you're telling us to down with the patriarch, and I agree with you more than him for once. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, I am always on. I'm always on the campaign of Christian Cage, Father of the Year. Make that to be an award thing in AEW. Give that to him, Tony Khan, if you would. But in all seriousness, I mean, I'm glad Adam decided to wake up because he knew that, Christian is in his own mind Christian got tired of living in Adam's shadow, as people like to bring up. That Christian is always in Adam's shadow. Nick Wayne felt that to a degree as well. He wanted to separate himself from Darby Allin. Well, in Luchasaurus, well, he's just Luchasaurus. He's really on the back.
He's the right hand destruction.
He's just right hand destruction for a reason.
His new Tonka.
And it's like with Darby and Sting, of course, you know, Christian's still not done with Darby. Darby's still not done with Christian. And of course, Sting is, you know, Sting as well. They're not done with them. And of course, Adam inserted himself into this picture here. It was like, you know, he had to wake up and told Sting and Darby, you want your third man at full gear? You want your third man at full gear? I'm your guy. So he decided to wake up and see the light and join forces with Darby and Sting. Now, this is a simple and easy prediction. Darby, Sting, and Adam gonna get the win because you just said it. Sting never loses on pay-per-view.
Yeah. And they're gonna drag out the Adam Copeland and Christian Cage narrative to the Eric's other spot there. And Ric Flair in Sting's corner, yeah, shenanigans. Yeah, Ric Flair's gonna low blow. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. And I'm surprised AR Fox wasn't actually the third man. That was my original thought.
I just had a thought process. One, what if Christian Cage goes for reverse father bashing on Ric Flair?
It won't be the first time.
Like your daughter doesn't even want you around in her life.
I mean,
it won't be the first time.
I'm sure Ric Flair's already realized that a couple of times, okay? Because being a Flair in its own right, there's a lot of tension in that family. Anyway, but yeah, I think this one's pretty much cut and dry. So I was
looking up about Malachi Black's post about what was that word? Erebus?
Erebus, yes.
Yeah. Here's a question before I answer it. Do you know what that word means?
No.
Well, according to the internet, this is the god is the personification of darkness in the Greek mythology.
Personification.
He is Dutch, to be fair.
Yeah, he is Dutch.
The Dutch folklore is where the whole Utengast and the Malachi Black manifestation has come to life.
But personification of darkness.
Well, here's the thing. According to this mythology I'm looking up, he is the father of Ether, Eros, and Metis on the first rule of gods. In the genealogies given by Roman authors, he begets a large progeny of personifications upon Nox, the Roman equivalent of Nyx, while in Orphidic theology, he is the offspring of Kronos, the god of time.
Kronos, I understand, but it sounds like he wants to dictate time, but whose time is he dictating here? Again, you talk about yourself. When they first came in, they attacked Blackpool Comic Club. They attacked FTR. It looked like they were setting up the whole idea of Malachi Black versus Bryan Danielson. Hell, it might become Malachi Black versus Dax Harwood, and Dax Harwood's facing Rouge one-on-one this Friday. That's got to be taken into consideration. And those two are going to bludgeon each other. But talking about the House of Black, talking about the whole idea of four, I did already say that there are 4 members of the House of Black. I don't know if another man's going to show up, but why don't we go ahead and switch gears to the women now?
This is where it gets creepy, though.
Go for it.
Remember how I mentioned he is the offspring of chaos? He is also the offspring of chaos, alongside Nyx, Night.
Yes.
Because everyone back in the day was fucked up in the head, Eris decided to practice the Targaryen ways with Nyx.
Right, because evil apparently breeds evil, I guess. Or
no, as in he fucked his sister.
Oh,
that's why I said Targaryen ways.
Okay.
All right. We just got real creepy.
The opposite personifications of the dark characters making way to the birth of light. So does that mean Malachi is going to sleep with Julia Hart?
Don't even say that.
You had to go for the juggler. As we know, Julia Hart, Lee Johnson are married, but Julia Hart right now looks to finally be crowned as the uncrowned empress of the House of Black. She wants the TBS championship. So I'm going to go ahead and bring things back to stable control here before we go down a road that you should never travel.
Of Targaryen madness.
Thank God we live in America. Lord help America, Lord help humanity. Anyway, Julia Hart, Chris Statlander, and the winner of Sky Rebel, which of course we found out was Sky Blue. Yes, another graphics out of date, but AEW hasn't posted the updated graphic yet. That's on Tony Khan's team. You need to fix that. TBS Championship on the line, and of course we know that Stat has been where it's at, so she beat that bitch twice. And now we have a triple threat match here for the TBS Championship. She's already beaten Julia Hart once, successfully defended it at Wrestle Dream. That was actually her most recent defense, I believe. And then, of course, prior to that, I saw live AEW Collision against Sky Blue. Very game bout, but Sky Blue came up short too. And then at Battle of the Belts, very respectful bout with Willow Nightingale. But Willow Nightingale lost that bout, but there's still respect shown. Sky Blue didn't approve of it. Sky Blue still alongside Willow, but she has not stood alongside Chris Statlander. And if she has to say to Hart, she will tell Hart or blow Blue Mist in her face. I'm calling it now. We need a Blue Mist versus Black Mist spot here where the two try to miss each other or the two miss together Chris Statlander. I think this turns into a handicap match, but I think that's going to be the downfall of both challengers. Statman where it's at, challenging anybody coming to her, anytime, anywhere, anyone. And I think there's a bigger narrative right now with Julia Hart and Sky Blue one-on-one, as Sky Blue's character has been a morph into this dark, aggressive persona that clearly is not seeing clearly. I think Chris is going to retain here, but I'm just not sure how when she's already beaten both women. So that being said, Eric, your thoughts?
Well, honestly, some people, I've been seeing people on the timeline, they feel like Julia Hart is ready to be the new champ.
Fair take.
Yeah, and especially since now that the House of Black now have lost the trios title, and we can't guarantee their assertion they'll get the tag titles, they need a title in their midst. They need to have something in control.
But we've also seen how the House of Black has taken control without titles.
Yes, but here's the thing. Do they get a title or do they get a faction member with Sky Blue if she pulls a swerve?
Well, I mean, I go back to Revolution this year. I'm a hater. Jamie Hayter outlasted Saraya and Ruby Soho, and what we saw, Ruby Soho joined Saraya. I think you get a similar dynamic here where Sky Blue goes fully dark and turns her back on everybody, including her friend Willow Nightingale, and you know Brody King is not
and King Crash.
Ha! Finally! Freaking finally! I was waiting for it to hit him. It deserves him right. You talk about me? You're the Crash Master of the freaking ATW street. It serves you right. Anyway.
Also, was there something off about the Sky Blue Red Velvet match tonight?
It was.
Yeah, did you ever figure out why? Because it just came out.
What?
What?
Wait.
A fan needed EMT support.
Oh
my lord.
Yeah, so something happened that caused the audience to be like, should we be focusing on that? Or like the match is secondary to us.
Well, at the end of the day, you can't put a price on a human being's life.
Yeah, there was a medical scare, and well, everyone got distracted by that.
Yeah, don't blame them. But back to this. That person's okay. But yeah, back to this match. I could literally see Sky Blue dropping Chris and going alongside Julia Hart. Now, what does that mean going forward? You tell me. But I think Chris Statlander right now has really established this title the best she can as a champion and prove her worth as a champion. I think it should continue, at least for the time being. Especially if Orange Cassidy, based on our previous spots, is going to lose his title.
Yeah, according to reports, we're expecting to get multiple title changes at Full Gear.
I'm calling it now. Multiple. I'm calling it now. Multiple. I'm calling it now. You saying Stat retains? I don't think so. Because this is going to turn into a handicap match like you just alluded to. Julia Hart's going to win it, and it's going to basically become Sky Blue that's going to cost Stat, and that's basically going to have Julia.
Wow, King, damn.
Julia Hart to get the pinfall because of Sky Blue.
Sky Blue either causes a new champion or causes somebody to fail to become champion. That's the story of this match, and I'm standing to it.
Also, here's another thing. one of the other reports came out that Tony Storm is a big favorite.
Oh no! Oh no!
Because it's time to be timeless.
That's my line.
All right, fine. Shoot, let's just do both women matches back to back. Why the hell not? Here is your feature presentation with Tony.
We are on the.
Who is this?
Who we are prepared to enter the Hollywood quest for the good as the timeless Tony Storm will challenge the champion Hikaru Shida, or in Tony's case, Hikaru Shida, for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Continue. I'm just gonna shut up.
And as we see here through the character development of timeless Tony Storm, it has been a very good character development for Miss Storm, as we have brought in one former Stardom Club Venus, Mariah May, the Glamour herself, as well as I like.
What is this accent?
And as well as I like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I like Luther, the butler. I like him now because I don't have to speak Lutherian no more.
I feel out of place here.
But okay, let's cut the crap. Sheeta needs to retain here.
Back to your normal. Oh my God, I could not. Okay. Now,
here's my take. What if this leads into, if Tony wins?
Oh Lord.
What if this leads to Mercedes coming out and we get Hollywood Star versus Timeless Star?
If that did turn to happen, if that happens, I will lose my mind. But
people already lost their mind because the fact that Tony Storm right now, we're seeing her in full color, but also in black and white.
Also, in reality, I really do feel like Sheeta needs to retain over Tony. I really do feel like Tony does not need the title. I really do think that Sheeta needs a longer reign with this title than her previous title reigns that she's had, her previous two.
Consider she's a 3-time AEW Women's World Champion, and she won both those title runs in the span of a month and a half.
So she needs a longer title reign here and now. And what better?
Here's the thing. You want to know what I said on Twitter if Tony Storm wins?
Oh Lord, what did you say?
Geez.
I said this. What if Darby Allin decides to craft his own short film with Timeless Tony Storm? Since he did want to be a director at one point.
Now that would be a timeless movie that I will watch.
I don't think that same genre applies to the maddening, violent art that Darby Allin creates. I'm just saying.
He could be a variety director.
Yeah, I mean, we see with Adam's debut vignette. Over there
you know what? That's fair. So at the end of the day, I'm just gonna put it out there right now. Does Mariah May try to help her? Does she actually cost her? This is a former World of Stardom Tag Team Champion with Mina Shirakawa, Club Venus forever. And at the end of the day, if you are the Glamour, I would think you would want to be the one in the spotlight, waiting for your close-up king.
Or in this case, WrestleMania 22 with Trish Stratus and Mickie James.
As long as you don't have this lithium, Mickey, you're still one crazy bitch. In the nicest way, I mean that. Hardcore country.
I just had a thought. What if they get so over, AEW manages to get Mickie James and Trish Stratus back together to do a tag team match with the two? Trish Stratus is open to still wrestle after her run with Becky.
Really?
Yeah. And she does have unfinished business in WWE.
I mean, yeah, you know what?
Zoe Stark after she got punched.
Well, but Mickie James also, her husband now is the general manager of SmackDown.
Yeah, but Mickie James
and then she came out, and then Impact and Mickie James have said that she will be taking a break until January, and I said, "A break, huh?"
Break. Interesting. Well, we know what January holds. It's TNA coming back. And we already got our Knockouts World Championship match. It will be Trinity defending the gold against Jordan Grace as Alex Shelley defends the gold against...
But think about this. when I said when the report came out from PW side until a break until January, I said to myself, until January. So that can mean two things. One,
Oh, yeah.
TNA hard to kill, or two, now that they're
Beep, beep, beep.
I just found something interesting out about Mickey James.
what?
What?
Okay, she came back in 2021, right?
Yes.
Yes.
To Impact.
Yes.
She's not signed to a contract.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I figured she was freelancing. I figured that's what she was doing. She's doing the Cody.
She's a free agent, so she could theoretically go to all places.
Mickey James in AEW would be actually quite interesting, considering how diverse this landscape is.
Not unless Nick Khan and Triple H get a hold of her first.
Yeah, and they have apologized for the trash bag fiasco.
Well, again, how long do you hold the past when the past no longer exists?
Well, that's just the thing, though. Remember, Mickey James was the first of over half a dozen women that came out and confirmed that, yes, they've also gotten trash bag care packages. And even Gail Kim says she was getting confirmation from other women from before her time in WWE, implying that this is a corporate culture, not just one rogue employee like they claimed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I hear you loud and clear. And I'm sure we'll hear things loud and clear. Well, I mean, hell, King, I don't know about you, but and Eric, I know you did probably watch AEW tonight, but was Heyman Adam Page any more clear tonight with what he said regarding what he plans to do with Swerve Strickland and what he thinks of him? Because to say this is personal is probably a very light statement.
What we thought at Wrestle Dream was basically, we thought it was basically not going to be over, and it wasn't. But Swerve invaded another man's house in Virginia and gave the T-shirt to Hangman Jr. just for Hangman to turn it around and for this face-to-face, and went for the throat, the jugular on every point that he talked about. Brought up his fiance, brought up his fired in 2021, brought up basically everything he needed to bring up. He brought it here, and I was like saying to myself, he went there. This has gotten now to where, yeah, a Texas death match was the correct match type for both of these men. Because these two are about to get brutally violent with one another that I don't know how you would settle it. Like, I don't know what the result would be.
Here's the thing. What if it doesn't end there?
See, exactly my point.
Well, to be fair, it's also Heyman versus Swerve 2, as the 2 implies thing on the screen. When it comes to a lot of these feuds, they usually end in 3s. And right now, it's one up Swerve. And why he hasn't been able to get a hold of Swerve physically, but he damn sure got Prince Nana quite literally.
And Prince Nana is a bystander.
Yeah, look, even for once, you and I also agree on that too. Okay, but either way, anything goes, dude. And we've seen how lethal him and Adam Page is willing to go in a Texas deathmatch scenario, whether it's Lance Archer, Adam Cole, or most recently in Victory, Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
But you've also talked about how Swerve is a realist. Lucha Underground represent. This is the guy that endured hell of war, and he's a bit of a screw loose too.
Which is why, like I said, this match is going to get violent, and it's going to get brutal, and it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be a lot of things you could come up with.
I guess the one question I have to ask here is, we're used to Heyman bleeding. The Swerve bleed.
I guess we'll figure that out, won't we?
Well, they say black don't.
But who do you think should win this match?
Well, that's a whole different question now, isn't it?
That's a whole different scenario.
Do you keep Swerve on his rising momentum, or do you give Hangman his victory?
And again, if Swerve wins, does that pigeonhole Swerve once again?
If Swerve wins, I don't think it'll pigeonhole him. It'll basically have him be up in the running for, an AEW World Title shot, because MJF went on Twitter a few days ago, posting with him and Alicia Tout and his cat and the Triple B. Well, not really Triple B, but listen, opponents that he was talking about, going to face or have defended of the Triple B, saying, I've defended this person, and this person, so name all these names that he's defended. And then Swerve quoted that tweet, said, but you haven't defended it against me.
No, he hasn't.
So if Swerve wins, I don't think he's going to get pigeonholed. But if Heyman wins, I wouldn't mind seeing these two running back.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. And also, during MJF's run, he hasn't faced the Hangman either.
No, he has not.
Yeah, and we were almost going to get that match, and then CM Punk got signed.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. I do think, though, in this case, especially since, let's be honest here, Heyman verbally chastised the 666 in Swerve and sends him to hell. But I think Swerve's going to freaking send him to damnation in his house. And it's going to be a forum. I think Swerve's going to win.
You mentioned Swerve's time in Lucha Underground. Wasn't that the match you were mentioning where he fought Dante Fox and flesh was torn off?
Yes, it was. God.
Yeah, I remember that match.
When did they bring that back for this?
No.
Bro, you just gave me chills down my spine just now.
I can't go back and watch that match without freaking being squeamish, dude. That match fucking affected me, and I've seen a lot of crazy shit in my life.
I have too. A lot of crazy matches I've seen, and
very few surpass Lucha Underground, if we're being perfectly honest. And that includes AEW.
Yep.
Oh. But yeah, I think Swerve needs this personally. So at the end of the day, I think the story of this pay-per-view is going to be, is the Elite still the Elite? Which is why I'm going to once again make this man decide amongst his brethren. Good luck, dude, because that's not the only boy from your crew in action. As we know, it will be the Young Bucks. And, oh, by the way, they're in California. Taking on the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho. And why it seems like their beef is only with Jericho. Kenny Omega has pointed out truthfully how immature his friends are being. And to add further stipulation to this, not only is this a very personal tag team match and the first time ever tag encounter, if the Young Bucks lose, they lose their shot at the AEW World Tag Team Championships. But if the Golden Jets being proclaimed lose, they never can tag team again, and that has to affect the Don Callis family agenda. Eric, something's gotta give this Saturday, and there might not be a point of no return. So good luck on this one, bruv. What needs to happen here? What do you fear will happen here? And at the end of the day, which team proves once again that they are the Elite?
Well, if you want my take, friendships are going to end.
That's just as simple as that.
And you all brought up how Kenny Omega's been calling out the Young Bucks for their immature behavior.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just be blunt about it. There's going to be a steel chair thrown at them there.
Well, considering the Young Bucks literally kicked two men straight in the uprights to get the win, and literally one of them used the Jews effect, I would not run it past them.
Well, imagine though if Chris Jericho
clean win,
steel chair at Nick's head.
Clean win, by the way. Clean win. That was a clean win tonight.
Yeah.
Clean win.
We'll argue about this later. Oh, brother. But yeah, go ahead and further break this down, because you're talking about friendship. I mean, does that mean that BTE gets neutralized? I want to see that in a different direction, too. Now they got Butcher and Blade versus Brandon Cutler, which is also weird in my opinion, but that's a whole different conversation. But go ahead, Eric. Further elaborate. What's the situation of the Elite?
Kenny's gonna try. He's gonna be emotionally conflicted as one could be.
Well,
But
not
Chris
since they were
Jericho is
2020.
Chris Jericho. He's gonna seize the moment. But I think the Young Bucks are gonna lose this match.
Ooh, okay. And again, the Golden Jets win, they get the interim title shot.
Yeah, and oh please, they'll have another shot next year.
Damn, just put him right there.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong, bro.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
He really
that
isn't.
added feature, especially says Kenny Omega now cannot have more allies fighting, and he cannot afford to lose Jericho in the war against the Don Callis family regime.
And this war is far from over, despite the fact they won the Like a Dragon street fight. At this point, you're just waiting for the newest member of the Don Callis family to reveal themselves and be recruited.
Yeah. And with the whole crises that Kenny Omega is facing, he cannot afford a civil war within the elite.
Again, Kenny Omega, look, I'm just going to say this for the record. And Paula, God bless you. I don't play the politic game, but I do look at Kenny Omega from a wrestler standpoint above the Young Bucks. He is the elite of the elite, in my opinion. Now, as far as your behavior, what you choose to be backstage versus on screen, that's a whole different conversation. But lately, whether it's work, story, or shoot, King, your Young Bucks have been petulant children, to say the least.
I mean, ever since we lost the Ring of Honor 6-man World Tag Team Championships back to the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage and Mogul Embassy, the Bucks have been really acting like their 2021 selves, and of course they're taking it out on Jericho because they went up to Omega and said, "So the Golden Jets, huh? I thought we was your friends, Kenny. You know, the elite. Like I thought we were supposed to be the elite here. Like, you know, why is Jericho in our locker room?" And it all stemmed from there. And then it's like, anytime that you have the Bucks and Omega and Jericho in the same building, it's like the tension just rises and rises and rises. And of course, it reached this boiling point tonight here on Dynamite, right before even Omega and Jericho got ready for their 8-man tag street fight.
Yeah.
It was where as fists were thrown, and then Kenny just said, "We just wanted to talk." Well, apparently Jericho, he kind of did, but of course he had to say the words of "See you later, kids," and that's what set Matt off.
Well,
so
the more emotional one, for being perfectly honest here, and he's the older brother. Continue.
That is true, and like what Eric said, I really do, and these are my guys. Y'all know this, but yeah, Bucks are going to lose in front of their home state of California. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it is true.
I mean, you kind of was torn with the whole Wrestle Dream result too, and we talked about on the post ATW view from Wrestle Dream. You thought that the Young Bucks didn't need this win because at the end of the day, it was going to be critiqued by, "Oh, they got because they politic their way to the victory." Blah 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 blah. So, but
even
again, we're not
every tag title match since they've been here.
Well, that's a whole different conversation for another day. The history of AEW tag team wrestling, and again, it was the Young Bucks that didn't initially want to be the tag champs, as you also pointed out. And at the end of the day,
another year.
Right. FTR freaking beat them clean as a sheet at the biggest wrestling event in wrestling history. I don't think you really need to run that back anytime soon. So maybe this is the way that they kind of changed the whole entire script. Again, it was FTR that saw something in the Ricky Starks and Big Bill dynamic. And it does work. And who would have thought that Big Bill would be a champion for Big Cass? How you doing?
And that's his first title ever.
Right? But yeah, at this point, it's one of those things where I just don't think the Young Bucks need to be involved anywhere towards the tag titles right now. I really don't. And and also, guys, let's put this in perspective. Chris Jericho has tried to go after the AEW Tag Team Championships alongside MJF, alongside Sammy Guevara. Now he's trying to do it alongside Kenny Omega. And honestly, this might be the duo that gets it done, and it is an accolade that Chris Jericho has yet to accomplish.
Yes.
So there you go. So yeah, I think the Golden Jets win this. And honestly, I think they need to. Not just with the whole idea of the Don Callis family itinerary still at the forefront, but the Young Bucks need to be taught some humility. And just in my simple opinion. All right, guys. Now, seriously, if anyone thinks the Ass Boys have a chance in hell of becoming the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, I will literally MC the freaking Swerve pressure Fiend while freaking King dances like Prince Nana and put it up publicly on YouTube. But that being said, I don't see MJF losing this. But yes, I said that on video. It is now official, and anyone can take that to the bank. And that'll be done for free. But again, will we breathe with the Switchblade and the one guy in AEW yet to be pinned or submitted, the counter puncher that dictates the conversation and the story, and probably every post-event it seems? Jay White, is he on another level above the devil? And is it the devil we know versus the devil we don't that's on the other level? But the bottom line, guys, let's just talk about this verbatim. These two men, you're talking about the two ultimate verbal and physical counterpunchers in the game colliding for the first time ever one-on-one. MJF, 1 year to the day, winning the title, coming in defending the champion as our scumbag, a complete 360 of perspective towards the man we were going into last year alongside the generally villain, William Regal. Jay White, though, the villain of AEW, it seems, but also speaks the facts and has yet to be pinned or submitted since coming to AEW post-WrestleMania weekend. Something's got to give here, and with World's End probably being one of these two's end as we know it, and I'm sure it won't feel fine for them, let's talk about this, break this down, and see what the storyline's been, where the storyline goes from here. Eric, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on these two men in ring as far as the cohesion, the dynamic, the challenge for these two, strengths versus weaknesses, who officially leads as champion, and does the devil truly show his ugly face? And is he on this graphic?
Well, if you want my take, MJF's going to win this. Barely. But here's the thing. I think I know how he's going to win it. The devil's going to save him.
The devil saves the devil?
The new devil.
Because
because remember, Jay White is the catalyst, the man who broke Bullet Club down.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. MJF, here's the thing. There's sharks around MJF. Would the devil be smart to give the guy who has no beef with a lot of other people compared to the guy that's surrounded on all sides?
But
And
the devil,
who is stretched thin, holding two belts.
but the devil first attacked Jay White.
White.
Yes, and now the devil might help MJF just so he can take his throne.
But he attacked the Acclaimed as well. Him and the Goons.
And
Yes.
apparently this is legitimate faction, and there's 4 of them.
Yeah. So now we don't know if and here's the thing. We don't know if the devil will show his identity at Full Gear or World's End. I get the feeling they'll wait till World's End because then they can go with the end of the world thing and
That's
bring that
my
back.
thought. That's my thought exactly. And it's in MJF's hometown. Continue.
And I also thought, like I said, remember how I said if they had an opportunity to have it on the end of the year of December 31st and have the show end on midnight? You want to know what I would? You want to know what I would have pitched if Tony Khan had done that?
What up?
Like they do the countdown, MJF celebrates the victory, and he's going ahead and say, "You know what? Let's keep this going. We got 1 minute to midnight. Let's count it down, and we get to 10, 9, 8, 7, and then the screen counter morphs and twists to reveal the devil." And 3, 2, 1. Revealing the devil on New Year's Day.
That's actually a very good idea. You need to pitch that to him.
Yeah, except
first
it's
off,
not happening on December 31st.
no,
I
it's
know,
not.
but you still can make it happen. Like it's again. Still make it happen.
A social media exclusive. AEW New Year's resolution for 2024 before the bidding war officially starts. Let's not forget he also hyped that up and still talks about that to this day, guys.
Yep.
Oh, I also got another new name I can think of who could sign with AEW.
Go for it.
Alex Hammerstone. He's trying to get out of MLW.
Oh
man,
yeah,
the
I didn't even think about him.
But he's also super huge. There's no way he's the devil. But you
No, not the devil. I mean the signing.
The signee.
Okay, fair enough. But you do bring up an interesting thought, though, of MLW, because I do think about a guy that I think rode alongside MJF or wanted to be in MJF's light, and that was the guy that ran Dynasty, Rich Holiday. And formerly, he was with Alicia Toot, I think, whether or not they were actual couple or just on screen.
Yeah, but to be fair, though, you can't, when it comes to this devil storyline, you could probably have the guy be part of the servants of the new devil, but it has to be a person that the mainstream audience knows who it is.
That's like because the devil storyline right now is a big, it's a big storyline. It needs a big mainstream name.
Agree.
To fulfill that.
I think that's why part of the reason people want Punk back and thinking that's him. Because
you fired a guy, you gave a fucking press release. You can't work that shit.
Yeah, and some people think it might be a work now because I don't know, Punk's been teasing it and I'm trolling about it on social media with the whole devil references. And I'm just like, look, if Punk comes back, there would have to be massive changes just to guarantee anything.
If Punk comes back, he virtually owns AEW because there's no way you could get away with this shit.
No, not at all.
I would think the only way Punk could come back, theoretically speaking, is if Punk doesn't show up to any of the shows unless he's needed, just so they can not risk any complications at this point.
I said they didn't have enough complications with the locker room. I'm just saying. And the other one that will give bad publicity, but not nearly as bad, would be if it's Botch Hollywood Jack Perry, because at the end of the day, but we don't want to see that.
No.
So, theoretically, him being the devil could work, but it's just that his promo skills.
No.
He'll be eviscerated.
He's good. But he's not a big enough name. He's not good at the promo, so he's not a really, fit that double revealing requirement.
So again, people talked about for the two most primary choices right now seem to be Dubrick and DMD with the timing of that skit, and Adam Cole, baby, who's out injured, but he still has been involved in these storylines because Adam been freaking called by Roderick Strong more times than he can block him.
See, with Cole, it's a safe bet because it's like, and I watched Tranquilo's video not too long ago of the devil's identity in AEW. Yeah. He brought up a good point. And the good point of that was anytime that Adam Cole has been on the video call, anytime that Adam's been on the video call, the devil has always shown his face in the same building. Well, technically, sort of in a sort of way. So it's like when Adam
O'Reilly exists.
Exactly.
We don't know if he's medically cleared, though.
But we don't know if he's cleared. That's the thing. We don't know if he's cleared.
Close friend, a true close friend of Adam Cole. There's no denying that. Those two have fought each other with the Ring of Honor World Championship at friggin' Tokyo Dome.
So it's like whenever Adam appears on the video call, then we always see the devil later on during the show. I'm still going with my safe bet, and I'm still going with Adam Cole being the devil himself.
The fans get behind that, though, is the thing. And again,
a lot of people have actually said this. It's predictable, but it would make sense.
Exactly.
True, but again, we've also said this how many times verbatim. AEW is not that damn predictable.
That's but here's the thing. It's sort of like the situation we're having with Cody and Roman. Sometimes the obvious decision might be the right decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it's taking both men in a different direction, and now Jay and Cody, they aren't even involved in singles affairs. They're involved in team warfare, so there's that.
Oh, and speaking of Roman, we have another crisis.
What?
Another one?
Yeah, ever since Roman Reigns defeated LA Knight, the fan base has started that conversation again.
Of?
Surpassing Hogan.
Yep, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That conversation's back up, and here's the thing: no report update on WWE's thought process, but the more fans keep saying, "I want to see that happen," then it's going to probably happen.
Fans don't want to see that. That's just bots. All right, Tony Khan's already proved how many bots.
So we had a graphic of Roman Reigns challenging Hogan on the top of his throne.
Oh.
So I don't think that's a bot.
But back to
I don't know.
this though.
Back to this though, yeah.
Um,
Talking so much about the devil. Go ahead, King.
MJF, I agree with Eric on all points. MJF is going to retain barely, and like I said, he's going to walk into World's End as world champ, but he's not leaving his hometown as the world champ.
You think he's defending it at Worlds Collide?
At World's End, you mean?
World's End.
Son of a bitch.
But yes, at least we understood what you meant, though. But yes, he will be defending
the NXT event.
Right.
I'm tired, dude. Get off my back. Continue.
But nonetheless, MJF will defend the gold at World's End, but he is not leaving Long Island as the world champ. He's not.
I just wonder who you put him up against. If you got literally 12 of your best talents involved in this AEW.
You got Joe, you got Wardlow, and now Swerve wants to enter his name into the mix.
Yeah.
So that's 3 right off the bat.
I guess as long as one of those, if not all 3 of those men are in there, that's completely. But okay, so just to look at the coin, let's look at this for Jay White. Jay White's longest match in his career, I believe, is still held up against Kota Ibushi back at Wrestle Kingdom 15 with 46 minutes. He lost the prolific match, of course, at Wrestle Kingdom this year to Kazuchika Okada, probably his greatest foreign rival. So how do you protect Switchblade Jay White in defeat here, knowing this is his first loss in AEW for AEW's top title?
Like I said, we just mentioned it. The devil helps.
The devil helps because, I mean, it's obvious how they're doing with Jay. I mean, he got the win over MJF. I think it was clean or whatnot. So,
yes, you're right. He came up behind him and he hit the Blade Runner and he got the win. You are right, but it was a tag team scenario. But you're right.
So, but I mean, it's obvious what they're trying to do here. They're obvious. Tony's making it obvious that you think that Jay's going to win it, then clearly he's not. Do I want to see Jay White become AEW World Champ? Of course, but I guess right now it's not his time, and it's clearly obvious they're showing that.
I don't know if it's that obvious, though. That's like I said, because, again, the devil attacked Jay White. Jay White's been accusing MJF as the devil. Why I do think it'd be crazy if this was like a double play type thing, and MJF's been theatrically pulling the strings, thus proving how much of a manipulative puppet master he is beyond just generational talent. It's really hard right now with how many different directions there are for MJF to bet against him. But it's also not that hard for me to believe that Jay White could be the one to take the title from him. Because if MJF doesn't have the title, it doesn't necessarily eliminate all those storylines. If nothing else, it just takes him to a different direction. Wardlow still wants to end MJF, take everything from him. Samoa Joe, he wanted that rematch. Since MJF truly never really agreed to his help or his friendship, that kind of went off the table. Doesn't mean Samoa Joe don't want to rip his head off. And Swerve, if he wants the AEW World Championship, he's got Mogul Embassy. Yeah, Mogul Embassy versus Bullet Club Gold.
Exactly.
Yeah, also, but now think about this. But now if MJF barely retains the title, he has to worry if Bullet Club Gold's still going after him. He has to worry about Mongol Embassy going after him. He has to worry about Samoa Joe going after him, Wardlow going after him, probably Darby Allin. Let's see. And the devil and his crew.
Yes.
So that's like probably 12 to 13 people.
Let's not forget the Kingdom, because at the end of the day, the Kingdom, you know they have their eyes on the Ring of
them
Honor.
too. So 17.
Roderick. Yep.
Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And again, Adam Cole,
I think the Righteous also still have beef with him after their loss.
So I don't think they do.
Yeah, now they're rolling with Lance Archer, taking on Sandman, alongside Jason Nate Roberts on and people are actually doing this, by the way, including me when I went and saw them during Ring of Honor. So the act is getting over. They are actually slaying people.
And finally, Lance Archer's back on TV. Yay.
Well, he won't be for long because he'll be competing in the World Tag League, as we know, as Monster.
Yeah, also, I saw Edge do a suicide dive in 2023.
Yeah, but put that in mind, by the way. How was that neck holding up? I'm just saying. The bottom line, though, this is the most polarizing AEW World Championship main event in AEW this year because we don't know the third asset here, the devil himself. I think he will be teased, but I don't think he will reveal himself. And Adam Cole does seem like the obvious choice, but I just don't know, especially if he's not medical fit to compete, if they would go for that. Because you know, at the end of the day, Adam Cole would love to be the AEW World Championship. Baby. That is undisputed, in my opinion. But again, World's End will end things in AEW as we know it in 2023 and set the landscape for the bidding war of 2024. And not just in All Elite Wrestling. I guarantee paradigm shifts of contract signings throughout the industry in 2024. If this bingo card already more three-dimensional than the largest Rubik's Cube you can think of, has already given us more.
We're going 4D on this.
Okay, well, then we're going to go into a black hole. I don't know if we want to end the world as we know it, but okay, I guess you can go a little bit farther. But either way, there's going to be even more madness come 2024. But before we get there, got to get through 2023, got to get to World's End. And I think right now, to that yawn, I need to put the millionaire horn in my sound effects. I will call an end to this interview impromptu. Been a fun discussion, guys, and I hope everyone enjoyed the free-form conversation once again, too. For those that counted along, yes, there were 9 botches tonight, but thank God I am straight edge at 98% and don't drink alcohol. I'd probably be dead. This has been definitely a fun time, guys. I hope you enjoy the pay-per-view. I know we'll get together, and we'll play it by ear some point next week, if not the following weekend with Thanksgiving. I'm always grateful for you guys. I'm always grateful for ATW, as I am grateful forever for professional wrestling, too. Damn it. But I digress. Let's go ahead and bid everybody a fine adieu. Before we conclude, Eric, any last thoughts? Anything you want to promote? Where can people connect with you as the head of NRE?
Well, I'm still on my brief hiatus with the NRE Wrestleverse stuff, with all the chaos that's been going on in wrestling and the internet especially. I've been trying to get back into my podcasting, but work has just been a pain, especially around this holiday season.
For passions.
Yeah, and also Baron Corbin is now an alliance with Dominic, so bear that in mind.
That's a thing.
So all this has been happening, and I don't know what's going to happen with my YouTube content for the foreseeable future with all this whole thing going on. But one of the things... Oh, this is weird.
What?
Okay, you guys talked about the King of Pro Wrestling thing, right? Earlier?
Yeah, KLPW.
And who's the current champion?
Show from House of Torture.
Okay, and he's fighting Tachi, right?
Yes, and he has dictated the rules based on rules set by every member of House of Torture that the fans get to vote on.
Well, a fan vote has determined it.
And the winner is?
Yoshinobu Kaminori.
Kanemaru.
Yeah.
Kanemaru.
He will be the special guest referee. The loser can never lose ever again. Can never wrestle in Yagamati ever again. Whatever. He cannot use Tachi cannot use his signature move, and Sho cannot use his signature moves.
Here's the thing about Sho's signature moves, though. He talked about old school signature moves. He never talked about his current ones. He literally eliminated all Taiji's current repertoire. Yeah,
so basically, Tachi cannot use the dangerous backdrop, the Black Mephisto, Tenshi Judo, and sumo techniques. Sho is forbidden from using his signature moves of the Shooting Star Press, Phoenix Splash, Double Rotation Moonsault Press, and any system sambo techniques. Furthermore, the loser is forbidden to ever wrestle in that place ever again. So, someone's screwed.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd rather see Toriyano as KOPW champion.
Oh, speaking of insanities, guess who is guess who's going to GCW?
Who?
Andrade.
Yep.
And his first opponent has been confirmed.
Who's his first opponent?
Joey Janelle.
Joey Janelle.
Of course. Don't get me started with the fact that I had to endure freaking, beating Joey Janela on Lone Star. That match should never happen. My anxiety. And of course, the idiot made it no DQ because he's a fucking madman. My head hurts. Thank you,
Doesn't
Eric.
Yano also have a record over Okada?
Yes, he does.
Oh, that was just a guess.
Yano, why do you exist?
In fact, I'm surprised that he hasn't hired him to be a stereotypical Japanese character.
Like,
Let's be real, WWE would have done that by now.
can we for
Not
once
wrong.
try to believe that WWE tries to not be culturally insensitive, since Triple H might be almost in.
Jinder Mahal's promo says otherwise.
Jinder Mahal.
Fair point. I try to forget about you.
Oh, also, The Rock is still open for running to the U.S. presidency.
I can see it. Honestly. He's done everything else. I can actually see it. I'm gonna be honest here. I can actually see that. All right. Well,
did we talk about the NWA's debate? Oh, wait, we did.
Yeah, we did.
They shot themselves in the foot, acting like children, and now they'll be lucky if they get the same type of publicity on the CW app versus television.
Well, they announced who is now joining. A new NWA superstar showed up for NWA Power.
Okay.
And who would that be?
Paul Burchill from the Ruthless Aggression days.
Paul Burchill?
Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long damn time. I'm being perfectly honest with you. I will say this about the NWA, though, as I always like to give shout out to the women's division. Congrats to Kenzie Page on her continued run so far. I think women's division continues to be pretty empowered. Great effort, though, by, I believe it was Taylor Rising till Natalya Markova came in and saved her partners high. But rising stars like Samantha Starr and Ruby J, good stuff. So y'all keep going. As far as these three goes, still a champion. We'll see who's text up next to the other men, or what it calls itself, the other men. The I don't remember. NWA is all confusing to me right now, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Except the women's division, because Camille's still there and she's still spearing people out of their boots, and I love it.
Also, Walter has heat with Bret Hart.
What?
Yeah, guess what? Bret Hart actually did something sacrilegious.
He's old school, so I don't hold it against him, because, again, he's old school.
He criticized Sheamus versus Walter.
Oh, how so?
I was embarrassed when Walter slapped his thigh.
Oh, give me a break.
And Walter gave his thoughts and says, too bad he's in the States, and we would have had a hell of a match. I would have loved to settle in the ring with him.
Bret would be lucky to ever apply the sharpshooter the same way again while breathing normal if Gunther got his hands on him. Congrats to Gunther, still the longest rating WWE Intercontinental Champion, probably the most important champion and most respected in WWE, if you've asked me. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
If WWE ever were to have a partnership with AEW, I would honestly I would have pitched Volta versus Orange Cassidy for the international and intercontinental belts duel out when Orange Cassidy was at his peak with it.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it still can't happen, but again, I'm still waiting for Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki. Of course, Suzuki and Ugata, I cannot believe the hell this year is going to be. Suzuki and Nagata working together in the World Tag League. What the fuck is my life? All right, that's going to be interesting. And congrats to the Gates of Agony, who will also be part of the World Tag League. And Joe Tsuji's bringing in a Z, whatever that means. That's his tag partner. A friend from Excursion. Not even Los de Factions Hapong or Los de Factions of any sort. So, your guess is as good as mine on that one, as Wrestle Kingdom 18 continues to form. But
Pro Wrestling Noah did something weird.
I know Keno won the GHC Heavyweight Championship against Jake Lee. Congratulations to him, even though he still told the company, fuck you.
Yeah, well, did you hear what the Great Muta did?
Oh, he missed it, a baby.
Yeah, he climbed up a mountain and found a baby, and then he just sprayed green mist.
The hell, is he trying to raise a new Kabuki? That's a scary spot. Maybe I shouldn't say that out too loud. That being said, I think I've already said too much tonight. King, it's always a pleasure, man. You know the form will be out some point later today. I'll always share it in the chat. So until we reconvene, which again, we'll try and do this next week before Thanksgiving, if not afterwards. especially because if nothing else, this weekend we will learn the field of the Continental Classic. Onicon, don't fuck this up. Pick the right people. Hey man, you want to promote, man? Any last thoughts? What do you want to do before we say I do?
Last thoughts. Full Gears potentially be AEW's run added to the long list of hot run of pay-per-views.
When did it stop being hot? What are you talking about?
Well, true. Y'all know where to find me. Find me on Twitter. Y'all find me on Threads. I'm trying to get back on Threads a little bit. I've been kind of slacking on Threads, but y'all know my Twitter account. Y'all know where to follow me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Well, again, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to give again a shout out to the entire W family. Please, folks, follow Mara J, where she continues to prove that J has worked more than gold. Follow the entire ATW View podcast playlist on my simple YouTube channel. I assure you, this forum is not going to let up anytime soon. And if you want to further engage with me, find me primarily on the Twitter and on YouTube for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, again to the entire ATW family. Love y'all all for life. Forever grateful to be a part of this fun little soiree that we created and still keep it going to this day, if not more often than ever. Again, shout out to my friend Attila. Me and her are going to do some more TNA throwbacks, so follow her when it's wrestling time at Rangers of Wrestling. Follow her weekly reviews for Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and Collision. Follow the Renegade JJ Williams for open mic night and the punishment I will endure. Apparently, I'll be singing Disney, unless my voice gives out. Lord, help me. Please, help me. So stay tuned for more on that. But follow the Renegade, all his social medias. He will be hosting City Predicting on my YouTube channel, Casa D18 Studios. Probably with me. It depends on what I'm doing. My mom's 60th birthday, and since it's officially not midnight, thank you, Lord. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you. I'll see you in the morning. Again, become a member today at Casa D18 Studios. You'll find a lot of great calls, including me bashing Karen Jarrett, the freaking witch, as she got her just desserts by Aubrey Edwards, and that's why Aubrey is now retired at 1-0. Yay. Stay tuned for more City Predicting. Like I said, there's Full Gear, Survivor Series, NXT, Deadline, Fire Resolution. We got Ring of Honor, Battle, World's End, and of course, 2024 will kick off with me and the gang getting together to discuss Wrestle Kingdom 18 in Tokyo Dome.
And you're gonna have the worst week of your life.
Yeah, but I've had one.
Especially when NXT does a special episode and you have to cover it.
Here's the thing. I cover the best first, and then I just coast through the rest. Tranquilo. That's what Friday's going to be. And also, Cemeteries, of course, with me and JJ for Survivor Series Full Game World's End. And funny you mentioned double takes. I'll be doing 5 hours of coverage on Friday night as I cover the Friday night showcase. Rampage and Collision and SmackDown. And then we go on to Saturday with a Full Gear. And before I go into Fukuoka, I'll be covering the Thanksgiving tradition of AEW Dynamite. And so much more to come to, as I'm sure Jeff and JJ will find a way to make sure I lose my voice almost practically too.
Have you done the karaoke thing yet?
No, that's this Saturday. Don't remind me. And
okay, I'll be sure to hopefully let James know the songs I want him to make you sing.
Eric.
I'll let him know too.
Eric.
Okay.
King, please stop, guys.
Oh, basically, also Lance Anoa'i revealed something interesting.
What?
Remember the iconic tribal court with Sami Zayn?
Yes.
Well, according to Lance Anoa'i, they wanted this segment to be so big, they wanted everybody. They wanted the grandfather, his dad, his uncles, him, Jacob Fatu, all there for the big event.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that for Tribal Combat. I had to watch that friggin' snore fest live at SummerSlam. What a fucking wet farting church that was, bitch ass.
Well, no. I said the tribal court of Sami Zayn.
Oh, well, you're saying bring everybody for that. They couldn't bring everybody out for something called Tribal Combat, which was a delusional no disqualification match with a fucking super hypocrite at WWE. Jimmy Uso came in and ruined every fucking thing.
Well, the rule was already thrown out the window the moment Solo Sikoa came out, even though they said that wasn't supposed to happen.
That's Solo. He chooses to be Roman Reigns' bitch. All right.
Yeah, say that to him and you'll see how that goes.
I don't have to. That's why I can say what I want. I'm just a fan of professional wrestling, damn it. Key word, not sports entertainment. Professional wrestling! Damn it! But I digress. That's not what I said. I don't give a fuck who I piss off. And tell me when I'm telling lies. Anyway, that's it for now, folks. After Eric got a little bit of the rage out of me, as he always tries to do. Thank you for tuning in once again on behalf of the entire ATW crew. We are ATW. We bid you all a fine adieu. Until next time, make a positive impact in life. Roman Reigns is overrated. and have a good night, for we are ATW. Have a good night, folks.
And Jay Cargill's hype train is like the cliffhanger.
Yay, Alley.
Oh,
Okay.
You just couldn't help yourself.
Yes, I had to do that the last second. It's a
Of course
rule.
you did. You son of a bitch.